Hey,
Think
what's
your
up,
guns.
everybody? Welcome to the Gilded Maul, episode 2. We have here today the DM, Wizard Rex TV. You can introduce yourself.
Hey guys, Wizard X TV. I do D&D, and that's what I'm doing here. We do it twice a week on my channel, Monday and Thursday. So if you like what you see here,
Check
just
it out.
saying.
I am Mr. Mouton. The next one, the man, the myth, the legend, Assyrian. Go ahead.
Yeah, ex Rust professional player. Used to own the Rustified servers. Retired now, so just doing D&D. That's pretty much it.
And we got Salsa.
I'm New Salsa, former professional Halo coach.
You coach Ninja, right?
Yeah. That's
Top
a good
7. That's it, y'all. New Salsa. Y'all already know who it is. Hit it up, baby girl. Come on.
Okay. And then we got Stupid Monkey.
Hey guys. We good to go?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Then I'll take it away. So, welcome everybody to tonight's episode. We're gonna do a quick recap and then hop in. If you guys have any questions or any concerns about the way I describe things, mostly suck it up. But let me know. So last we left the party, they had finally been getting some recognition after months in business because of a job they pulled off called the rally job, where by some mysterious circumstances that only they know, they were able to pull off what was supposed to be an impossible assassination. At this point, the jobs are still trickling in as they are a smaller guild, but they do have a bit of clout behind their name now, as this job was a big deal. After turning down one potential job and essentially kind of almost gaining an intern, we'll see how that goes when they get back, they met with a woman named Doria Nord, who offered them a contract with promise of further contracts and a further participation in an event that has not yet been disclosed, that is apparently a big deal to her employer, who is as yet also unknown. After a bit of searching around, they did find the owner, or rather the shopkeep, who stole these cart plans from the first job that they turned down. They were unsuccessful rather in persuading him to give them any coin. But maybe that's something they can hold over his head at some point in the future. We'll see. Instead of taking the 10-day offering that Doria gave them to complete their task, which was the assassination of one Vorstra Quam, a certain guild leader said that they could do it in 5 days. So she's now holding them to that. It takes 2 days to get to the city and 2 days to get back, leaving them only a singular day now in the city of Alcorn to find and complete this assassination attempt, which, by the way, I'm very excited to see how this goes.
Actually, it only took us...
It was a day and a half. Yeah. It was pretty. You made it.
So we have about 2 whole days to, fuck with things before we gotta be back.
Okay.
Somewhere around there, right?
So the way the timeline worked is the day before. So she came in, gave you the contract that morning. Then you had 5 days. So it took you 2 days on the road. You basically arrived the evening of the second day. So it is now the evening. It is the evening of the second day.
Yeah.
It's the evening of the second day. So you have all of the third day.
Correct.
And then, assuming you could make good time, you technically could have half of a day. Yeah.
Got it.
Give or take.
Got it.
It'll be fine. I'm sure it's fine.
30 hours. We're good.
Yeah. I'm sure you've worked tighter. Whatever. Some bullshit about your.
The rally job was way harder.
Yeah, way tighter. Way tighter turnaround.
His ass sure wasn't tight.
They were ambushed upon the road by a rival guild who was apparently unsuccessful in squashing them with large boulders as they rocketed away down a hill, getting their horses and their cart under control, returning to the road and making their way into Alcorn on time, just as a very large storm blew in. You guys made your way into town. You found a small tavern, which is where you're going to stay for the evening, called Little White Rock. That is kind of where we pick up. You guys did manage to talk to 3 other patrons there who you know to be from the run. It seems though they're also there for work, some sort of mark, but they didn't give the details of what that was.
Correct.
So at this point, you guys were beginning to go upstairs, and you were going to take, I believe you said somebody's going to keep watch, even though you're in an inn. So basically, as you guys kind of walk in, you look around. Those of you know a little bit about White Rock. White Rock is the capital of a country in another continent called Astoria. It looks as though this has largely been styled to kind of match that, similar to how we have, different types of Scottish bars or Irish bars here, things like that. And it's been kind of styled to match the foreign named, or what it's been named after. Essentially, it's almost it's adorned in a little bit more for what you guys would consider a little more traditional medieval type like sconces, and just the actual bar itself has a large white granite or some sort of white rock. It's a little unclear what it's made of, some sort of slab that's kind of covering the whole thing. But it appears as though, as you kind of glance and you see the barkeep as you're going to get rooms, he does appear to be foreign, at least somewhat. So you guys now in the bar looking to get rooms for the evening. What are you guys doing?
We need to get rooms, so I'll go talk to probably the barkeep.
Okay.
And see if we can just buy some quick rooms, and then we all need to have a quick chat of how we're gonna actually pull this off and everything.
Okay.
Yeah.
Zarprax is kind of looking around. He's looking around the room
For some plants.
Yeah, literally for trying to figure out how do they take care of their plants? Are their plants happy?
Is there a fern there?
Is there
Roll me a
is there-
perception check, Zarprax.
All right. Let me see. Just my D20.
Can I roll a perception check to see if anyone's eating a salad?
Sure, why not?
Okay.
And +3, so it's
No, I didn't. I rolled
21.
21. There are a few small plants you see specifically kind of hanging closer to the door near some of the windows. There are some almost like monkey grass type plants kind of hanging there, where they're kind of have their offshoots kind of growing down towards the floor, but they're kind of hanging from the ceiling. But they do appear to be a few plants at least.
Are they all healthy?
They appear to be decently well taken care of. They're kept by the window so that they get plenty of light, and they look like they've been at least mostly well watered. Yeah.
Okay, good. Zarprax is satisfied.
Okay.
Good. I'll take note that Zarprax looks like he's smiling, so take that this is a good place to, settle in, and I'll go talk to the barkeep.
Okay. You see he's kind of at this point, he's kind of walked down and given a few drinks to somebody else. Sees you approach the bar, says, yes, what can I get for you?
2 rooms.
Oh, okay. Very good. How many nights will you be staying?
1 night.
Very good. Would it all be on one tab, or will individuals be paying for the rooms
Put
separately?
it on 1 tab.
Okay. For 2 rooms for 1 night, that's going to be a total of 30 gold pieces.
What?
Sorry?
That's so expensive, is it not?
Well, are you new to town? I'm sorry.
Yeah, we're from, Oh, fuck. Hold on. Where we
Are you
from?
trying to look up the made-up name? Or not the
Rise?
made-up place, but... So, the town that was not the run that you were trying to think
Correct,
of is Tistra. Tistra.
We're from Tistra.
And as a reminder for everybody who may be watching that's like, holy shit, 30 gold. So the way that the economy works in our just so that we can keep a bit better grasp on it, a gold is approximately $10. So it's $300. It's $150 a night, which still is pretty expensive.
Okay, all right. So I
But it's
thought
not-
I thought a copper was $1, because in my other D&D campaign we
no.
do a copper as $1, which makes me feel a lot better.
Yeah, I
wait.
don't because gold and silver are used so much more often.
Yeah,
Copper is more like pennies.
yeah, it makes sense.
So it's like spending a night at Vegas kind of thing.
So silver's $1 in your world, yeah?
Yes, correct.
Cool, got it. Thank you.
Did
Yeah.
we go around how much gold we started with? Is this something I missed?
You guys had about 1,000 in the bank. You've spent through a little bit, which I'm assuming Mr. Mouton has kept track of. But if not, I'll have to go back and.
I have, because I'm.
How
not
about what
fucking-
we start with, or is it not? Because I know.
Yeah, I
don't
mean,
like-
you guys would have a little bit of pocket change as well.
Yeah, tell them their pocket change, please.
I apparently.
Oh, I found my notes. Wait. Okay, so we have 990 gold in our purse currently.
That's right, because you did manage to pawn off one of the things onto Vord, your landlord, without his knowledge. That is
Well,
correct.
That's correct, yes.
We didn't. Ben did. I just want to get very
Ben-
clear.
Yeah. I don't know why we're being accused of that. Okay.
Yeah.
So,
Um,
is that going to be okay, sir?
We can... We're only going to be here one night. We turned up at pretty much late night. We just need to stay and rest our heads. You
Does each
obviously
bedroom
have
have,
available rooms. Can we call it 20 gold? It's 1 a.m., I assume.
roll me persuasion.
Oh, persuasion, baby. Hold on,
So-
sorry.
You got this. You got
Does
this.
each bedroom have 1 or 2 bedrooms or beds? I guess.
You didn't ask.
Oh, I guess.
Yes, well, you fucking
Yeah.
sleep on the floor, dude.
I'm okay with it.
Big money. That's gonna be a 17. Wait, 18.
Ooh,
Okay.
18.
You see him kind of glance around. He's like, "Well, it is sort of late in the evening, sure. I would hate to turn you away over 10 gold. I shall make sure the rooms are ready in the next few minutes. I think we have 2 that are already available, but let me go check, and I shall be right back."
Thank you,
And he
good
kinda
sir.
Scurries
And I'll
off
hand
from-
him a gold. I'll hand him 1 gold.
Oh, thank you very much, sir. I appreciate it. As he begins walking back towards the kind of around the corner on the first floor here, where there are a few. You see, as you kind of glance, there's a hallway that kind of goes back through there, and it looks as though, based on the way the torches are, I'm sorry, the like kind of the wall sconces are lined up, it looks as though there are probably a good number of rooms back there. So, in the meantime, what are the rest of you guys doing?
It's just kind of scoping out the bar, just hanging out.
I'm just Osher sitting drinking his beer, but he has his eyes on those 2 guys that Baragon approached earlier.
Okay, the other assassins in the back of the room.
Yeah, those 2 guys. I'm keeping an eye on them.
Okay. Very good. Sure. So a few minutes go by, and he does come back out. He says, "All right, everything is good to go. If you'll come with me, I will see to making sure you're settled in. If you have any questions or any particular needs for this evening, we can go over that." So he begins kind of leading you back. The rest of you guys, you're following, or you just staying out there while?
I'm
will
gonna
follow.
call him in.
Yeah, we're
I'm gonna
following.
call the
follow
troops
after he
in.
calls.
I'll hand him 21 gold. I'll put 20
Okay.
in his right hand and 1 more in his left hand. That way I give him a $20 tip instead of a 10.
Okay, very good. Most appreciated. Do you need me to tend to any? Did you have any sorts of luggage or anything that you brought with you?
I don't believe so. I believe that we have 2 horses and a wagon.
Yeah, you guys stabled that
Already
the night
stabled that.
before. Yeah, not the night before, but the session before. Yes. Okay, cool. So you make your way back, and the 4 of you now realizing there are, while a decently sized bed, there is only 1 bed in each room. But there is room on the floor should you wish to put out a bedroll or something similar. But
I'll have
You guys are-
I'll have
situation out.
Zarprax in my room and
Okay.
Asher. I'm sure can take Ben.
Offshore.
Yeah.
Offshore.
It's only Osher. Yeah, it's only fair that upper management gets the bed, so I go ahead and nudge what's Ben to the front. I'm like, hey, you get the floor, buddy.
Is there at least like a chair or anything like that?
I
or-
throw him a pillow.
There are chairs and a small like table, like it looks like based on like the small candle put there. It's either for reading or just doing little bits of work.
I
But yeah,
grab
there's
the pillow and I just, go to the chair. Don't even say anything.
okay.
I will let Zarprax have the bed in my room.
Well, Zarprak sleeps on the floor, and being a druid and one with the plants, he doesn't
Alright.
need no.
Well,
Punch.
I'll take the bed. Nice dog, dude.
Very good.
Ben is. Are we keeping watch? Right. All
I mean,
four of
it's
us-
kind of weird with 2 bedrooms, isn't it?
Why are we keeping watch?
We're
Like
at an
Zarprak
inn, dude.
says
If
that.
anything bad happens, I'll
Zarprak says
sense
that.
it.
He's like, who's paranoid? Which one of
Didn't
you?
we try and get killed like less than
We literally
12
got,
hours ago?
we
And
got killed
a
by
bunch of assassins?
trained assassins. Yeah, of course it's fucking dangerous. What do you
All
mean?
right, here's the plan.
Lock your door. That's the plan.
Listen up. We're all in one room. This is a big brain. We got 2
What?
rooms to fuck with them. Okay, get in here,
Uh.
Ben. You're sleeping on the floor either way. offshore can sleep on the bed. I'll sleep on the floor as well. That way, we're all in one room. We're not split up. Now we have 2 rooms, so if we hear some crazy commotion, like a door being broke in, we'll know some shit's going down. So we'll be in the room furthest from the staircase. We will do like the appearance of we're going in one room, and then someone will swap over eventually.
Is there like a window or anything like connected? To
So on the room that you guys have, the 2 that you have are actually on the inner part. So there are rooms across the hall from you, which you assume have windows, but yours do not.
Okay.
Got it. Okay, yeah. So I'll say that, and then we have to meet and talk about how we're gonna assassinate this guy. Before we
Okay.
go
I'm
in-
gonna real quick. In case anything happens, we should have like a signal that's pretty obvious.
Well, we're all
to
gonna be in the
us.
same room.
Sure, but we don't want to like let them
Yeah,
know.
I suggest if something happens, just start fucking screaming, dude. That should get everybody.
That will wake everybody up, I believe. Yes.
That's
Yeah.
what
Yeah.
I suggest. Just start fucking screaming.
All right, sounds good.
Before we go, or like when we go upstairs, I'm gonna come back downstairs, and can I see if I can get a map of the city?
Sure. Who are you going to ask about that?
Barkeep. See if he knows anywhere
Okay.
I can get a map.
Sure. Yeah. I don't have any on hand, but I could send a runner. They generally run probably around just a gold. Depends on how fancy you want it. Maybe 2.
I want a very
Something
detailed map.
in particular you're looking for. Perhaps I could just point you in the right direction, so you don't have to waste your money.
No, I mean I'm fine paying for the map. We're gonna be, in town for a little bit. Even though we're staying one day here, we have another sort of arrangement to stay. So, just wanted to get acquainted with it. My friend
course.
isn't awake, so couldn't drop into him. Yeah, send a runner. When will he be here? 20 minutes, do you think?
Well, most of the staff, and at this point it's a little
Late.
probably it's a little past midnight. He says, I can have one acquired for you first thing in the morning. Probably I could have it delivered with if when you come out to eat breakfast, but any sooner than that would be difficult at this time of night.
And then I'll put 10 gold on the table.
Okay.
Does this make it possible at all to get a map?
You see, he kind of eyes it. But of course, sir. I shall be with you, hopefully within the next hour.
All right, I'll come back down. I'll go back up, and then I'll come back down whenever the hour's up.
Okay.
Should not have given the money to Mr. Mouton.
What do you mean? This is management getting shit done.
Yes.
We
Okay.
need that. We're on a time crunch because I said 5 days. We can't wait till the morning to make our plan.
Okay. So, as you return up to the room, what are you guys doing currently?
Osher's not gonna sleep until he knows that Moon's back in here with his map, so he's just gonna, lounge about for the next hour, waiting for this thing.
Zarprax doesn't really care. He's kind of using. How dirty are the floors?
I mean, they're not. I mean, it's a tavern, so they're not the cleanest. But compared to most places you've seen, it looks as though Alcorn probably keeps their stuff a little cleaner than like places and taverns would be in the Run or other small towns.
Okay. So, all right. I was gonna say it wasn't clean. Zarprax, he just does his little mold earth, pushes all the dirt out the way, and just kind of vessels in. And he doesn't really care where Mouton's at. He's kind of going to sleep.
Okay.
Fuck Zarprax.
I just sit. I'm honestly just sitting in that chair, sitting in a chair, flipping a gold piece.
Go.
Okay.
That's it.
So
It's brewing tea again.
it's salsa.
Wait, what?
Sorry,
What?
Sometimes
Zarprax
here,
brewing tea.
Oh,
So, as Baragon arrives back in the room, you see as Zarprax is already soundly asleep on the floor in the few minutes it took you to go and come back. Unless you were waiting the whole time for the map, which I believe you said you were heading
No,
back
I was
upstairs.
heading back upstairs. I'll come
Okay.
back down in an hour.
Okay. Yeah, you see him asleep on the floor. Meanwhile, Ben kind of just alertly waiting. Syrian, what are you doing? Just waiting for him to get back as well?
Yeah, I'm just sitting on my bed, looking around, talking to Ben, shooting the shit, waiting for Baragon to come back.
Okay.
Will you mute your mic real quick, Salsa? And unmute it? See if it fixes it.
It is kind of like, eh.
Let me see if I can get a different one, huh?
Alright, it's like,
I don't know. They had tornado warnings.
shit, dude. Okay, so we really need to do some
Some planning.
planning and investigation. We're after Vosterquam. He's one of the lords of Alcor, so this can't be particularly easy. So maybe what we do is all day tomorrow we're gonna follow him, kind of see his like daily routine, stuff like that.
What do you think he's gonna be out in the open? Like, isn't he in the inner wall or whatever?
I mean, yeah, that like we're gonna have to somehow either, if he comes out in the open, we'll try and see his daily routine for a day. If not, we're gonna have to go in. Either way, we'd want to kill him tomorrow night, I guess. Technically, worst comes to worst, if his daily routine makes him really easy in the open, we could kill him not tomorrow night, but the next day, like in the morning, and then we gotta dip out. So when we get the map, we'll kind of hopefully have like a lay of the land of the castle, or like where his lordship is. What other things can you think of, Super Monkey?
Well, Ben says maybe we should see like if the wall is scalable, if there's a way of entering that perimeter that's kind of dangerous. Maybe it's just open for everyone in the public. I'm not sure.
Yeah, we'll have to figure that out too. So let me put that on our checklist of shit to do to kill this guy.
Maybe we can, you know, talk to people, see if they know like a way in. Some maybe shadier people.
Do you guys think we could try and like forge a letter and say that this letter we have to deliver to Voster himself and try and get through the gates? At least that way, even if they don't let us through, we can see how tight the security is.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea. How do
We would need to like know their family like a seal and like a history
which we
revolving
can find
around.
out.
Yeah,
How does forgery work, Wizard Rex, like on the rolls
So, yeah.
and stuff?
So basically, do any of you have a forgery kit?
Let's see, that's a good question. It'd be under equipment, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it would be under your.
I would expect the rogue to have it, you know, because it's like a rogue's thing.
There's a lot of
What?
kids that have it.
A lot of
Guys,
kids, so we'd have to go buy one probably.
Yeah.
I mean, I have thieves' tools and a playing card set.
Yeah, I have thieves' tools as well.
Okay. I mean, I think forgery is a really good idea.
Yeah, forgery is a good idea. We just need to like know some history revolving around him.
But we obviously probably couldn't have 4 people come to give a letter. It usually, I would assume, is just a courier.
It is pretty sketchy as well because, you know,
What if they make it seem
Right.
like we were passing and they would give us like we had something else to do and then we were just gonna stop?
I can get wherever I need to go, like invisibly, so it's fine.
Just yourself?
Yeah, I can get there. I can turn into a cat. I can go invisible, then turn into a cat, and then go run and do wherever I need to get and go wherever I need to go. I've done this 1,000 times. You guys seen me do this before. This is why we're so successful, because of me. Okay, so.
Well,
Do you want to do that tonight? Maybe we can get a lay of the land.
It's not forever, but I can, you know.
Not
I can,
invisible,
wait,
but
maybe
just like
you could transform
shapeshift.
as a cat tonight and go and look about when we get the map and do some checking around of the castle area or the.
Even if that's the case, I don't think like we should wait around for him. We should have another plan. While he's doing that, we could try and figure out another way of gathering intel.
We might be able to
Or
talk to some
that's the
shady
case.
people and they can find us some easy way in. But I'm just scared that other contracts are there too. It's kind of.
Didn't sound like other contracts were there. It sounds like other people are here for other contracts, obviously, but it doesn't sound like they're here for him. And even if they were, I don't think most assassin guilds would have done the, hey, we're going to do this in 5 days instead of 10.
It's true.
So I would assume that they're probably going to attack a day or two after we do it. Would be their plan. If it's approaching an hour, I'll go down and grab the map real quick.
Okay. Yeah, as you guys sit discussing it, hasn't not quite an hour, but it's coming up on it. So as you make your way down, you do see as the barkeep kind of now pushes back inside. Most of the tavern is either empty or people are passed out at this point. There's a few people still kind of stoically drinking, but he kind of pushes in with his cloak kind of pulled around him. It's still beating down rain outside. He's kind of tucked it underneath his cloak. As he sees you, he says, yes, here we go. This is the best map that I could acquire at the moment. They were rather cross that I was disturbing them at such an hour, but they were pleased that we paid quite a bit more for the map. So, well, here you go. And he kind of hands you over a map, which seems to be a pretty detailed map. It's not, gather for more money, like knowing this place, you probably could have even gotten one in color, almost as a souvenir. But what you see is kind of a large meandering wall that kind of makes its way around this city here. As you kind of look, there is a small kind of like forked river that kind of runs just through the city, which kind of creates a bit of a natural moat for this inner wall you see. It looks as though that is probably the inner area that you know of where then most of the nobility would live, is this kind of like not only with a high wall, but also kind of naturally sequestered off by the land, just due to the way the geography is in this area.
And then if there's a moat, there's a bridge, right?
Correct.
Can I ask the barkeep about the moated area?
Sure, yeah.
Does the bridge usually stay down for the day, as I've seen in other cities?
Sure, most of the day is there are many people coming and going. Why do you ask? Is that what you're...
Oh, that's where my friend lives. I just need to know if I had to get him a courier to go get him to bring me in the gate, or if it's pretty much you can just pass through.
Well, most days people going in would be at least searched. People exiting have a little less trouble.
Search for weapons, or?
Well, just to make sure there's nothing untoward. Weapons are not illegal as such inside of Alcorn, but...
poison, obviously.
Yes, anything that is... I think anything that is very obviously suspect, the guards are wary of. So if you have anything on you, expect with a high degree of probability that it will be confiscated from you.
Obviously.
However, you can usually enter if you provide either documentation of your business, or if you had someone to meet you and escort you inside, which I assume your friend would have already arranged for you.
Hopefully. Awesome. Cool. Thank you very much. And I'll go
of course. If you need anything else in the evening, or if you have anything before you leave, just feel free to ask. I'm just in the first floor room at the end of the hall here, and I'm happy to assist.
Cool. And then I'll go back up, I guess.
Okay.
And I will lay out the map and show the moated area. Does this map kind of like tell us, I guess, exactly which lord owns which land, or?
It does, the detail that it has, it does have various estates listed. There is a kind of Quam estate. There, it looks as though there are 5 lords and there are 5 different estates in there. The estate that you're looking for, they all seem to be kind of almost in a star pattern on the inside of this greater walled area. There are many other like smaller, I'm doing air quotes, mansions and things in there that are not quite as grand as a lot of these noble houses would be. But yeah, it's pretty obvious where his estate would be.
And knowing a lord, I guess we've probably attempted to assassinate or assassinated people like this before. Are they typically hermits, or would they just go about the town? From what we heard, he was like a pretty friendly guy, and it sounded like to me, I guess he would like be seen about.
So yeah, based on what you guys know about him, he is one of those that he did kind of from your perspective, it could easily be for show, but he is one of those who would make rounds among the more common folk occasionally, trying to keep spirits high and keep them in his good graces. Whether out of fear of uprising or because of the graciousness of your heart, or his heart, you're not exactly sure. But it sounds as though he could be certainly seen out and about any sort of day. Yeah.
Okay. From a mechanical perspective, how would like assassinating someone work in this world? Because in regular D&D,
Yep.
if you're trying to kill somebody, there's a lot of HP. There's a roll to hit. Obviously, I think roll to hit would be something. But yeah, tell me how I guess you envision. Like, say we wanted Ben to go up behind someone and like slit their throat.
It's very much going to be circumstantial.
Got it.
Yeah, that'll be case by case. I can't give like a general guideline. It depends on how you guys plan it.
Yeah.
What you're using to kill somebody.
So are we? I guess a good question is like, let's say a guy's deep inside of a castle, right?
Mhm.
And this guy, like they're pretty high up there in level, right? But if we do a good job about like role playing our way into the castle, making it into this guy's room, and even he's like this grand barbarian or whatever, like class wise, if we did all that work to get there, like
You
is it
might
okay
need
if
like
split his throat, like granted.
It doesn't necessarily also have to be high level too, right?
for
Sure.
something like that. If he was high level, I would assume that we would have to go through like the rounds of like getting like the deadliest poison in the world or something like that.
you guys would know probably going into it what sort of person this is.
Yeah.
Based on what you know about this guy as a nobleman, not so much an adventurer, probably not hard to stab to death.
Yeah.
But without ever having seen him or knowing too much more of his history, a little hard to tell. I mean, you never know when somebody was an adventurer in their
Sure.
past, but
Correct.
certainly not common knowledge if he was.
Probably.
So I mean, even if we did, so do you? I assume you retain, like, let us know.
Yeah, I'll
Like,
just tell you everything.
I was gonna say, like, assuming like we get in, they search us and getting out. So like, when I was thinking of maybe we can bribe someone inside of the inner wall, like a worker or something, to get us in. But the only problem is when we get searched.
From what it sounded like to me, Ben, it sounded like people were pretty much free to come and go, in and out, as long as you don't have crazy contraband. Weapons aren't illegal. It sounds like we could just pass ourselves off as traders who came by, and we could probably go in and sell our wares. Now, what do we have to sell? We have our wagon, our specialty wagon that's one of a kind, and
It's true.
Yeah.
that could probably get us in. And I think a lord would want to hear about that.
An upgraded suspension system must be nice too. So
It does exactly what a wagon does in half the time, and requires half the work. That's what we'll tell him.
Yeah, that sounds like a good idea. Now, as for sneaking in a weapon, that's gonna be.
Weapons are legal, going
Yeah.
in and out.
I thought they. Never mind then. Okay.
Yeah, weapons would be fine. Anything you can think of offshore?
I think we should just play it by ear tomorrow. Try and get in, and then from there figure it out. Because we don't even really know whereabouts this guy is, right? We still have to track him down.
We know like the whereabouts of where he is, but yeah, I guess we don't know exactly where he is. I think
Or
we should just
what the
be
security
as
looks like,
humble wagon salesmen.
Yeah, and try and get in with that.
Yeah.
Do we want to still like scope? Because we don't. Do we have a general layout like where he is? Into
Yeah,
the
we
inner vault?
know. I mean, I'll point on the map. We know he is in this area, and I'll point to the Qualm area.
That's like the thing inside the moat, right?
Yeah. There's 5 different houses for the lords, and this is his like estate. So I'm guessing if we're selling something of this magnitude and awesomeness, we should be able to go house to house, door to door salesman.
All right. Do we have a plan B if this fails, like the trade thing?
I throw and I burn something. Let it be. I start a huge fire in a corner. Everybody's gonna respawn. The
Yeah.
guards aren't gonna be there.
I like the arson idea. The arson idea is a good idea. What if
It
we?
works perfectly.
Yeah. What if we? Somehow like we block off the exit somehow, like an accident happened, so nobody can let the fire go, and then all the rich people will have to go outside of where the moat area is, right?
To be clear, this moated area is
Huge.
really big.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not like
I
a
assume it's
tiny.
gigantic.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That's
So,
hard to sell.
Like
I
the city's
mean-
midtown. It's not just
Yeah.
that's just one like
Pretty
small
huge.
neighborhood.
Yeah, okay.
oh, okay.
I think that we have some good ideas.
We should probably just go there tomorrow and see what it looks like.
Yeah,
And
we can play it more
figure
by
it out
ear.
from there.
I feel like
Yeah.
we don't have enough time for a whole day of just.
Yeah, guys, let's just handle this like this, right? It's gonna be easy. We go find out where this guy lives. All right, y'all two start fighting. One stays hidden. I jump in this dude's window, invisible as a cat. I go uninvisible and I kill him. Like that's the way it is. Like I don't get it. Why we gotta make this so complicated?
Because we don't want our faces to be known. We just want to be like simple wagon salesmen and not remembered.
Well, like don't be known. Where like I don't know.
I think getting in would be a good idea. Like we just hide, Zar will just hide inside the wagon as like a cat or something.
I'm not hiding as a cat, just to hide as a cat.
True.
I mean,
I
do
think
you
we have a
really...
good plan.
Okay.
We're 4 wagon salesmen. We're coming in. We're here to sell wagons. We'll talk to the lordship. Zar Prax will be a cat. We'll go inside. When we're done selling the wagon, or not selling the wagon, to the lord, he will go inside. Zarprax will kill him. That is the plan. Am I understood, Ben?
Salute.
Zarprax says, now just to make sure we understand this now before everybody thinks we're all slick selling off this wagon. Understand
We ain't selling the
this
wagon.
This is a unique ass wagon. They're gonna know where this wagon came from. They're gonna go back and figure out who bought it.
Well,
Understand that this wagon ain't just like a one-time thing.
I don't think the wagon is unique.
Is the wagon have like any like insignia on it? Any symbols like created by?
I mean, you guys didn't check. I mean,
We'll
it
check
could.
it in the morning.
Okay, we'll check in the morning to see if it's you know, it's got any of that.
It's gonna have a logo on it.
Zarprax,
We have-
it's a guy in the run with a rundown ass shack who knows nothing, who had to steal the designs. You think that this motherfucker is gonna be able to create a
Yeah.
giant empire of wagons?
Do we
It's a
still have a
wagon, dude.
design, by the way? Do we still have the design?
Do you have what exactly?
The like, I know like it was a stolen design, and I thought he like showed us like proof.
No, he never did. He never did
Okay.
give you. Report. No,
Okay,
no,
never
no.
mind then.
Should have just killed him. Good job, Ben.
Should have killed him, yeah.
It's illegal, man.
Okay, then. So, plans made, relatively speaking. You guys settle in for the evening.
Yep.
So you've decided because you're all staying in one room, you're not keeping watch. Then yes,
I think we're still keeping
We'll
watch.
keep a
up to you guys.
Zarprax says you can keep watch. I'm taking my happy ass to sleep. He goes to
Same here. Usher's gonna sleep on the bed and he doesn't give a fuck.
Me and Ben will keep watch because we're not
Okay,
dumb.
sounds good. We can
So-
deal with 2 men, right?
Yeah.
Technically.
not?
So the way that it works is you need to get at least 6 hours of sleep to not get exhaustion. So you would need ideally at least 3, so you could each have 6 hours and then take a 2-hour shift.
So it'd be like a
Offshore.
12-hour night. Yeah.
This is not a job. If you're gonna be management, you gotta wake up, okay? We're doing a 3-man watch. You need to fucking wake up for this.
We can take turns sleeping, I guess.
Yeah, we can
we'll,
take turns,
I'll
yeah.
sleep for
Yeah,
3.
that's
Yeah,
the-
we'll take
yeah.
turns sleeping. That's fine.
It's usually how it is. Yeah, I would say so.
Just wake me up after 3 hours.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
wake you up,
sleep
dude.
though. I'll see
All right,
you
I guess I'll take first watch.
Okay. Very good. So as the rest of you lay down for the evening, Ben, you're just, I assume, just sitting in the chair staring at the...
Yep. Sounds my chair, dude.
Okay. As Ben takes a seat in a chair, just staring intently at the door, listening for any sort of sound or movement. Go ahead and roll me a perception check.
Sure. Let me get my die.
Roll it quicker, Ben.
I rolled a nice 5 plus. Where is my stats again? 5 plus. I think it's wisdom, right? 1, so 6.
You do occasionally hear the cough of another patron walking down the hall, going to the room and such. You hear a couple doors like close. However, as it's getting closer to the end of your watch, the night does become more and more still and quiet. You don't notice anything particularly out of the ordinary. Certainly, if there is something going on in the room beside you, it's quiet enough that you can't hear it. As it comes up to the end of your watch, who will you be waking up next to replace you?
I just wake up Baragon.
I'll wake up happily.
Of course. So, as Ben lays down, at this point, you waking up, anything in particular you were doing?
I'm gonna listen to. I'm guessing we have the room next door, so because I'm smart, unlike Ben, I'm gonna put my ear to the room next door and see if I can hear anything.
Okay, sure. Go ahead and roll me a perception check here.
It's gonna be a 9 plus. That's a 10.
So, what is your passive, by the way?
11.
Okay, it's not much better. Let me check something. Okay.
That means there's some shit in there, boys.
We fucked up.
It's alright.
As the night continues to go, you think for a moment you hear just like a sound of maybe somebody walking. Then the steps disappear. Roll me another perception check real quick.
Alright, where the fuck's my dice? Who keeps stealing it? We got
What time is his watch, by the way? It's like
it went to the mountain.
It's
It is a 14. Plus
14.
1, 15.
Okay. As you were kind of sat there with your ear pressed against the wall, do you guys have any? I assume that it's just dark in your room. You don't have any. Did you light a candle or anything? Or you guys just leave it dark?
Is there candles in the room to light?
There was a candle on the table.
like
Yes.
the reading light.
I feel like we would have lit it to talk and look at our map.
So, as you are sitting there focused, out of the corner of your eye, just at the bottom of the door, you see a kind of large spider just begin kind of creeping into the room. You see as it kind of stops about a foot in.
I smash it.
All right, real quick, go ahead and roll me an attack. What do you smash it with?
I'm getting my sword.
Do we wake up from this?
You might necessarily, yeah, we'll see. Not
if,
yet.
if not my sword, then I have a shield, I think, right? That I can just fucking jump on it with.
Sure, you can certainly try.
All right,
Just roll me an attack.
Okay. 1d8.
Or I mean, roll to hit. So d20 plus whatever your.
D20 plus 4. 8 plus 4. That is 12, I think.
12 is what you needed. So,
Boom.
yeah, the spider only had 1 hit point to begin with, but as you, I assume, did you want to crush it for flavor? What did you crush it with?
My sword. Just
Okay.
like fucking. I
So-
wanted to like overarm it and just smash it into it.
As the spider kind of creeps about a foot or so into the room, you see it kind of go up onto its back legs, seemingly weirdly looking around. As you leap off the bed and bring your sword just down, cleaving this tiny spider, or large for a spider but small for a target certainly, cleaving it in half. It goes and seems to dissipate rather than being squished into spider guts. From out in the hall, you hear like a fuck. As then you
I will, as soon as I hear the fuck, I'm immediately gonna bust open the door. I'll even give you a strength check. if you
Yeah,
need
we
it.
all wake up from this.
And I
honestly.
hope that they wake us up. You want an
So-
athletics check to like bust it open?
Yep, roll me an athletics check. Also, it's going to depend on how
9 plus 4, so that's 13.
13. As you quickly bust open the door, you peer down the hallway, and just in time to see just the hint of a piece of clothing disappear from around the corner. Somebody's apparently completely bolted.
I'm gonna dash after him.
Okay.
I'm gonna dash, and before, as I'm dashing to them, I'm gonna yell, "Shut the front door," or lock the front door, something like that.
All right. Go ahead. What?
I'm just wondering if we're all awake at this point.
Yeah, we're waking up. at
You all
this
would
point?
be.
Yeah.
Sure. And you're
Okay.
muted, by the way, also.
Idiot.
Yeah, if he's breaking through the door, I'm definitely gonna wake up.
Yeah, the three of you kind of bolt up as you see this door get smashed open. with Baragon kind of poking his head out into the hall. You see this person disappear around the corner. Who? We're gonna go in the order of
Baragon,
dexterity. Who's got the highest dexterity? I mean, that's a stupid question. I know that Ben does. After that, what's everybody's dexterity score?
I'm at 14.
I have 13.
Okay. And Baragon, yours is.
Fuck, sorry. What the fuck is my sheet?
My initiative
It's
is
a
plus
10.
7 too.
Okay.
It's a 10, but I would say that I should go. Be able to run after him first or whatever.
You do get first action. After that, it's going to go in the order.
Yep, that's perfect.
Actually, that's nicely how it lines up on my screen. So, as you kind of burst your way out, you see this person disappearing. As you kind of try to follow them around, you don't see any trace of them. As you see, like the barkeep kind of like rubbing his eyes, like stepping out of the hall behind you. As you go to the front door, you see it's just going to kind of swung wide open, kind of flapping, and you look out into this darkness. Roll me a perception check.
Fuck. Good rolls, boys.
Everyone or just him?
Him
It's
right now.
15?
As best you try to see out into the darkness of the rain, you're not seeing anybody right now. The rest of you, as you kind of see him run off, so Ben, you're next.
Mm-hmm. You want me to roll
I
perception?
get a familiar. Or I have my, like, rat familiar. And I think he gets his own, like, perception check.
Okay.
Can you- I don't know how that fucking works.
That's if you are controlling him.
Oh, sure. Okay, yeah, never mind then. I wouldn't have had time
yeah.
to control him or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, unfortunately not.
It's
So,
100%.
yeah, Ben, at this point.
You want me to roll or perception then?
No,
Right?
you're just. What are you doing as you see him?
Oh
burst?
yeah. So as soon as I see him book it, I'm booking it behind him. I'm going the same way. I see him go through the front door. I assume I go through the front door.
You arrive at the door just a couple feet behind him. Go ahead and make another perception check.
I rolled a
I actually should have had you.
+1.
So I actually should have had you guys both roll with a disadvantage as well because neither of you have dark vision.
Well,
As you guys kind of get to the doorway and begin looking around, you do see some footprints, but there's so many kind of out in this little mucky area of the street. They quickly disappear. Yeah. So the other two of you, are you doing anything? You arrive about 10 or 15 seconds enough behind them, but as you see the two of them kind of standing at the door, staring out into the darkness.
I would
Like,
go out to join them as well.
I burst out there. I'm like, where'd he go? That's which way?
Are you asking? Are you asking me?
I'm
Are you
asking,
asking?
yeah, I'm like asking the group. I'm like, or like,
I don't know.
I
Look
can't
around.
it's,
I think you should go to the bar. Maybe he dipped through there as well. Maybe it's multiple people.
I yell, I don't know. Look around.
I guess I look and I try to roll a perception. See
Okay.
if I can get any type of clue of footprints
Sure.
or anything else like that.
Go ahead and roll me a perception check first.
11. My perception is +3, so 14.
You aren't able to gather much more than them. However, you do notice that these plants are right by the door. And if anyone might know something, they would have been there the whole time.
So I use my wondrous item, Bangle of Plant Speech, and I go over the plants and I caress them and I'm taking care of them. I'm like, listen, buddies, there are some bad men that just trying to hurt us. Do you happen to see which way they went?
Okay. Being a slightly more primitive plant, they do takes them a second, but say, yeah, there was a couple creatures that walked by not long ago.
Where'd they go, mi amigos?
Well, I think there were 3, though it is sometimes hard to tell. But it seems as though they came in and then they went out that door and went to, I think, and it basically translates to being your right from the door.
Okay.
So how are you doing?
I'm doing well. How are they treating you here? Are they treating you okay?
Oh, it's pretty good.
Do
I
we
would
understand him?
No, we
the
just-
plants can, but you guys probably kind of just hear him mumbling.
Oh, okay.
as the plant's like, oh, we're treated well, but I would like it if at some point that I was able to reach the floor, but they do keep trimming it back, and I should very much like to expand.
Do you like where you are? Do you want to stay here or do you want to leave? And as I say this, I'm like, he went to the right. He's going to the right. And I point in that direction. I keep on talking to the plant.
Okay. Well, I mean, it's not the worst place, but I at least should like some of my vines to be sprouted elsewhere.
At this point, this is our
So-
straight.
So Czar looks at him and he's like, would you like to go with the vines or I can, what's it called? It's like where you cut a piece of the plant
Yeah.
off and you plant that, or like, do you want me to do that? Whatever you'd like to do, I'd like to give you back.
Yeah.
Your
So they as you continue to talk, it does seem as though they want you to do the latter. That way, they can essentially spread across multiple different places.
Right.
They communicate to you. It's almost it's a very primitive sort of conversation, but it is a desire to kind of spread out for their evolutionary purposes of keeping itself in multiple different places so that it might have a greater chance of survival and spreading.
I tell him, before my time's done here, I will grab pieces of you and I'll make sure that you're good. And I'll even try to hide some, or like, so he can plant inside the soil. Like I have an idea for it.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that.
I say you're welcome. And I I mold earth a little bit to aerate the soil to get some good. And then I leave.
Okay, very good. So at this point, what are the rest of you doing?
At this point, I'm running right. He said right. I was the whole time I was running right. I
Correct.
guess.
So, Assyrian, you would have been next. So, as you get to the door and you see him,
Actually, real quick,
Darprax kind of stop talking to plants. Go ahead, Ben. What?
I was gonna say if there's any torches like that I can easily grab.
I mean, the sconces are kind of attached to the wall.
Okay, no worries then. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'd just be running right.
Okay. But yeah, Syrian, as you kind of get here and you do see Zarprex stop and just begin conversing with the plant, he does tell you that they're off to the right, but you would be the next to act. So, what are you doing?
I would have ignored him because he's speaking with them in like plant tongue or whatever,
Okay.
whatever that is. So I'm like, he's figuring it out. He's rubbing their roots or some shit. So
Yeah.
I see Ben and Baragon looking around trying to find this guy. So
Okay.
I joined them. I try and see if I could find anything out in the darkness. Maybe give us
Sure.
a
Go and roll.
I'd
perception.
point him towards the right side as well, I guess, if that's not too late. Like,
Oh, are we metagaming here? Wait.
He yelled right. He said they're right. They went to the right.
Well, I don't know that though because they're.
Wait, he said he wouldn't have
was-
said it in plant speak, right?
He was still speaking to them before I showed up, right? Like,
Okay.
still
Oh, sure.
happens.
Whatever, dude. Whatever, bro.
whatever, dude.
So I roll a 17.
Okay. Total 17.
Yeah.
Did you roll that at disadvantage? I don't think you don't have dark vision either.
I
Do-
don't think so.
Yeah, let me double check. I don't remember which race you were. Yes, you do not for sure. You definitely don't.
Roll
again, so
idiot.
Roll again with disadvantage. So basically, roll again and take the lower of the two rolls.
So it's 15.
Yeah, 15 total. As you get to the door and you do kind of mostly ignore Zarprax, you look and you do see what appear to be some fresher footprints heading off to the right, which you kind of gather he said as you were mostly ignoring him. But you don't see anyone at this point. You just know, you can gather that they probably went off to the right. However, it is going to be very difficult to find them in this driving rain in the storm this evening.
Can I do my best and try and follow the footprints and see how far did it take
Sure.
me out? Yeah. So
If he will before that, I'll like put my hand there and just say like it's not worth it. We have a thing tomorrow. We need to rest up for it. Because I don't think we're gonna be able to find him.
how well can I see the footprints? How far out can I see with these footprints? Are they only like a couple of feet in front of me, or?
You can see a couple of feet in front of you. The rain is driving pretty hard, think big fat water droplets just kind of pouring down outside. So any trace of the footprints that is mixed in with all these other footprints is kind of also getting it's very quickly the trail's fading.
Okay.
Can I walk back in, I guess? And is there anyone anyone around?
You do see a couple people passed out. Other than the barkeep, who's now come around the corner, there doesn't appear to be anybody else who's awake currently.
Okay. Never mind.
Okay. Yeah, I just listened to Baragon then, and I decided to just go back inside so we can be ready for tomorrow's mission.
Very good. So, as you guys make your way back to the room, are you all still going to the same room? And who's taking the last watch? It is now the end of Baragon's watch.
It would be offshore, right?
Yeah, I mean, I decided to stay up. That's fine. I'll keep watch.
All right, so Asher, go ahead and roll your perception check as everybody else lays down to finish out the rest of the night sleeping.
13 total.
Everything seems to go by rather quietly. You do hear the occasional person getting up in the night either to vomit or relieve themselves, but other than that, it seems to be relatively peaceful the rest of the evening. As you guys awaken in the morning, as you do hear several people getting up now, and you do hear a bell beginning to toll somewhere in the city. The day is new. It is yours. What are you guys doing?
I think we're gonna go get our wagon.
Can I inspect the spider that he killed? Like,
It disappeared when he hit it.
Magic spider?
Yeah, which is he would certainly know, having his own familiar.
mhm.
You gather it was some type of familiar, as instead of becoming spider guts on the floor, it
Sure.
essentially dissipated into the ether. So, yeah.
Yeah, I want to like inspect the wagon, see if like there's anything that like is pretty
Sure.
obvious. Yeah.
Roll me an investigation check.
Yeah, that's just, let's see.
Yeah, D20 plus whatever your investigation skill.
All right, that's 13 minus 1, so 12.
Yeah, you look over it. It looks as though it's well put together. As a quick look, it takes you probably 15 minutes of just really digging around trying to find something. Nothing immediately stands out to you as being a mark of whatever craftsman made it. But clearly the cart, the closer you look at it, having used carts many a time, it is unique. But there's nothing that immediately indicates who made it, as far as you.
Okay.
Interesting.
I don't see anything, guys. Maybe.
Since like all of us would peer over it, can he roll at advantage?
Sure, go ahead. As you guys are helping him with this, sure.
I rolled a 12, so no.
Okay.
So same thing, yeah.
All right.
I got the horses ready. I tie them to the cart so we could try and do the cart salesman thing and try and get through. So get the wagon ready.
Zarprax, I'm gonna whisper to him, just to remind you, us three, me, Ben, and Offshore, are gonna sell the cart. You're gonna stealth into the house as a cat, and after the cart sale blows up and we don't buy, he's not allowed to buy it, obviously. You kill him. Meet us outside the city. I'll show him on the map where.
Do we want to say we're selling it to other
wants
lords?
to buy the cart?
We don't sell him the car. We just tell him that, okay, this is like a pre-production model. We'll ship you out one in X to X days.
Shouldn't we want to sell it to someone else, by the way? Like, it doesn't have
No.
to be that lord.
It has to be the Lord because we want to bring him out so New Salsa can go in.
Okay.
And we don't really want other people like to see us, other lords to like know that we were like the ones selling it, right?
Okay.
I also, during this time, after the conversation's done, I walk over to the plant that I talked to earlier, and like I kind of take off a couple small little vines, right, in the non-dangerous areas of the plant, right, and I whisper to it, "Thank you," and make sure it's all good. I kind of like hiddenly put those gently in like my belt rim, right?
Okay.
So it's like I still have access to them. They're not going to be hurt. They're going to be good taken care of.
Okay, very good. As you kind of slide them into it's easiest to kind of almost roll the vine up and put it in a small pouch, so that way it stays protected. You gather, as long as nothing catastrophic happens, should be safe as long as you need it to. Okay.
Who is the best at driving, horse handling, animal handling?
Fuck animals.
I have a +1 on that.
I'm +1.
Okay. Let my
I
second
have
in
a
command.
+3, but I refuse to do it.
Yeah, let my second in command drive.
So
Alright.
I'm behind the wagon. I'm driving this wagon towards the wall, towards the gate.
Okay, very good. So you guys set out in the morning, relatively early. You manage to just grab a bite of breakfast as the innkeep kind of hands you a bit on the way out. As you get into the wagon and you begin driving down the street, now in daylight, it is a bit overcast. The rain has stopped at this point, but the day is largely gray and cloudy, kind of impending some other thunderstorm potentially later in the day. It's difficult to say. But as you continue down the street and, shaded daylight, but daylight nonetheless, you do now see a few people like just peering at the cart, just kind of noticing as you guys are making your way down here.
Yeah, it's a nice cart.
Yeah, they're very interested. A couple people even trot up beside you and say, "Hey, excuse me, where did you acquire this fine cart?"
Are you interested in buying?
Of course. It looks as though it's the smoothest and quietest riding cart I've ever seen. So if I could acquire some for my own services, I imagine I should.
Tistria.
I'm sorry.
It's from Tistria.
Tistra. Yes. Very good. Well, it should be a while before I visit there again. If you are willing to part with this one, I would be happy to buy it.
What are you offering for it?
It would be 100,000 gold.
Well, surely you jest. I would be happy to compensate you fairly.
I do not jest, sir.
He sees he
This is our only prototype, and we're on the way to sell future production cards to the nobles. If you'd be interested, I can happily sell you a future production and have it shipped here right now.
And how much would a future production model cost?
100 gold.
Roll me deception check.
My deception's real good.
I'll say with advantage because you are actually on a newfangled type of cart.
I mean, I'll just take the 19, I think, and that'll be 25.
You see him kind of look around. He says, "I'll give me 3."
Okay. Where's the gold?
He kind of produces it and he says, you see him kind of like still kind of trotting beside you. You see him kind of like snap for somebody as they begin, like he's like, give them the, and then he says, like you see as he writes down an address and a name and kind of hands it over to you. And he produces a sack of a few different sacks of gold and kind of, as you see, he kind of counts it out real quick. He says, "Here you go. When should I expect delivery?"
Zarprax during this time, he goes and he's like, very well, and he grabs the gold from the guy to kind of live up the thing and starts scribbling bullcrap down and trying to open up the lie.
You'll give him a receipt, right?
Yeah, like I'm making
Fake
something
names,
up.
yeah.
Of course.
For 3, and we have to move it here from Tistra. What time of the
boss,
year
that
is
doesn't
it?
talk about the delivery fee, does it?
No,
it
it
did
doesn't.
not.
Is he gonna come pick it up, or would he like to have it delivered?
Well, he wants to have it delivered. Like the cards are 300 gold. The delivery fee for 3 cards, that's gonna be how much
We have
would
to-
like a
Wait, does he want the carts assembled before they come, or they assemble them here? Because if
sir?
we got a whole different carts. That's-
Preferably if they could be pre-assembled and delivered here, that would be ideal.
Oh, then we need how many good horses and good men? Like, okay.
We need
let's
at
let-
least a couple of people with security, right? Make sure the guy doesn't lose the cart on the way here.
Yeah, but this is a
Mugs,
very big thing. Yeah.
If he wants it delivered, it's gonna be.
So is this an expedited order as well, or
like when would you want it by? Because we have cards almost ready.
When how much of a back order do you have? I would, as soon as possible would be fantastic.
Sir, I mean, if it's as soon as possible, you could pay a little bit extra gold, and obviously we'll bump you to the head of the line. I am in charge of the production, so.
Well,
I am just a mere designer. Talk to my production man.
I suppose as soon as possible. Yes, that would be fantastic.
Sure. Okay. As soon as possible. I'll write that in. We'll come back. That's in order to get the let's see what we have here. We have 3 extra carts. We're gonna need at least 2 additional people to run each of those additional carts, and then we have to pay for their stays here.
Well, we need guards on the carts too because
We are gonna need guards on the carts, because sir, I tell you what, when everybody else sees their carts, they're gonna be running beside them just like you are.
Of course,
a little bit of commission portion, right?
yes, I know a good deal when I see one. This is
So
total. How much then on top of the 300 are we talking?
I think 139 gold. It was gonna be 140, but I like you, so 139.
Perhaps 125.
You know what? I would do it like this: 130 and not a gold less. Just because I like you. I like your step.
you know what?
Pay the man, and he begins counting out more gold for you.
Okay, that's fine. Also, I do need you to sign this, and I will have scribbled like something saying that you will not be taking our designs and selling our cards from us. These are just for personal use, correct?
Well, they're for my business.
That's fine. That's fine. You're just not gonna remake them and sell them to people, correct? You will only use Tistria's card co for all your card needs. Yes.
Well, I assume a cart as fine as this would be registered with the Empire's patent office, so I
Sure.
wouldn't dare to produce something like that.
Thank you, sir. Can you just sign this for them?
Okay. Do you guys quickly draft up some documents?
I will have been.
We're writing stuff as
We're
we're going.
writing stuff as we're going. Yeah.
I'm helping, you know. I'm in the back, like hearing everything, you know.
Obviously, this isn't binding or anything. It's just a show of goodwill.
Caution.
How much?
I want
much
his.
was
I want
it?
his signature. Is kind of what I'm going after.
He does quickly sign a signature, giving you guys a total of 430 gold to split however you wish.
Are we good just keeping it in the guild purse?
That's
Yeah.
And then if you guys need anything, I'll just buy it. Okay.
Communism, baby.
Oh, yeah,
very
bro.
good.
Okay, we'll have your cards when, and I'll look at Zarprax, but I will not say his name.
We gotta make sure we get the heels, and I know because I like you. We're gonna upgrade the leather package that we have, because traditionally everybody else gets cloth, but I like your pizzazz, so we're gonna get some nice leather, some nice little pleated stuff. It's gonna come off some gnomes and their little guinea pig farms that they run. You don't worry about that. It's
Of course, I appreciate that.
material. So with that being said, that's going to elongate it a little bit. So that's going to give us about 2.5 weeks. But I think we're going to leave our factory at 2.5, a production center, as I like to call it, our production center. So when we do that, I'll make sure I'll tell you what, because I understand it is 3 carts, right? And that's a little bit amount of like size to have. We'll even send a runner ahead of all this stuff. Just send a runner ahead of it, right? And so you get this runner.
Of course, and perhaps, assuming that this order goes well, I should be happy to place more in the future if you would like to give me contact information where I can find you later.
I will write down on a piece of paper. My
Ben's
name's
number.
No, I'll write down. I'll say my name's Garland. What is yours? And I'll reach my hand out as I give him my Garland information.
Sorry, my name is Alton. It's nice to meet you, Garland.
Alton who?
Alton. Where did I write it down? Alton Gerard.
Okay. Man we stole money from for this. Okay. Yeah, the name is Garland from Tistra. With
Okay.
Carts and Co.
Very good. Noted. Thank you. At this point, as he's very good.
We must be going now.
Of course, I can tell that you're going to do very well today, and I appreciate your working with me on this.
No problem. And we'll head off.
You do see a number of other people who seem curious in the cart, but nobody else is so brazen as to walk up to you at this point.
Go ahead.
Maybe we should
Go
just
ahead,
be
no.
selling carts, boys.
Like, how much did we take this job for?
I
Ten-
think it was
10,000.
like 10,000 or something, yeah.
Yeah, that's a lot.
10,000. Like, how much money did we just make selling off this cart?
No,
This
10,000
fool
gold.
ran beside us.
This isn't our line of work, okay? I think we will go back and become in business with this man. But for now, maybe we could make him like a
When we
middle.
get back, we need to figure out something with Garland because there's no reason why we can't be doing both.
We
right?
definitely,
this-
we
it's crazy.
definitely will be starting up Carts and Co on our way back. Let's talk
You-
about that.
It's crazy, guys. You guys only
That's-
got this card for 5 days for 15 gold. That's wild.
Oh well. Yeah, it is wild.
Yeah, right. That's quite
And the guy bought 3 carts. So I'm like, that means we could have probably charged 300 gold a piece.
Oh yeah. Okay, we'll head over to the moated area.
Okay. As the probably next to get to the bridge closest to where you'd like to cross, it takes you around to the eastern side of town. You guys kind of having approached from the north, you kind of make your way around. It takes you the better part of the next. It's not too busy today, maybe 30 minutes or so at a pretty brisk pace. As people kind of, you see the occasional person kind of pop out and look at the cart and give you just kind of a friendly wave. But otherwise, you are left unperturbed as you make your way to the drawbridge. As you kind of get closer, you do see several other carts. It's fairly wide. It looks like 2 carts could pass each other, one going in, one going out. You come to the gate, and there are 2 guards posted on either side. You see as like one steps out in front of you, kind of holds up his hand as you begin to approach.
If I may, before all that happens, right before we get in view of the guards and everything, I jump out the back, and like I'm still walking, but I'm no longer with
The party. Yeah.
So before the guards could see you.
Before the guards, before everybody, before we get to the people whose job is to actually stare at everybody, right? Like I kind of like.
Of course.
Would I have? Can I? As we're on our way, I want to check the map and see if Gerard is in the moat of nobles.
Okay. As you take a look, it is indeed one of the 5 houses. Yeah, it looks as though this. You don't know if this was
Cool.
what person this
That's
was. Alton, you don't know who he was, but he's definitely from one of the houses.
Okay. As we pull up to the guards, I'll wave them, say hey. Do they make a stop or?
Yeah, he steps in front of you, says, "All right, where are you, the 3 of you going?" And at this point, Zarprax, how far back are you?
I mean, I'm not very far back. I'm like 5-10 feet. Like I'm
So you're just
walking.
trying to? Are you shadowing them? Like, is it clear that you're with them? What are you doing?
No, it's not clear that I'm with them, but like it's like I'm like I
You
could
just like
walk
every
away.
other peasant, like trying to walk in or whatever,
Yeah,
right?
I'm just like walking in and walking out. I don't have anything with me like that.
Okay. So yes, as the 3 of you approach on there, he says, "Yes, gentlemen, good day. Is there anything that I should know about in this cart of yours?"
Just us 3. We're here to actually deliver this cart to you might know him, Alton Gerard, and I'll pull out my document that we just did.
Very good. He kind of takes a peek at it.
There's a signature, and I'll point at it.
I see. Yes. Very good.
Proof of purchase. I'll just shovel him with documents of this guy's signature.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I see here though there are 3 carts listed.
Those are coming later.
And this order was from today.
I wouldn't have put the date on the document.
Okay.
So.
Very good. So you said the other 3 are coming. When should we be expecting them to arrive?
The other 3 should be here tomorrow, on the morrow. Or the other 2, sorry.
Very good. Perhaps should I send for? It'd be best if somebody could come pick up the carts up here. There's no need for you to go inside.
This is a very special cart. And I'll just kind of get flustered. I make these cards. I'm very particular about who drives the carts. This is my own driver, and I'll just kind of like ham it up as like.
As you're saying this, he kind of looks around, checking out the interesting undercarriage that is attached to this cart, and says, "Yes, I see. So real quick, either deception or persuasion, whichever one is higher for you. I'll let you go ahead and roll. Let you go ahead and roll one of those for me.
We have a reputation.
Good.
It would be deception. They're both at 6, so it'll be 11, 7 plus. No, it'll be 13.
13. He says, he kind of eyes you for a second. Says, "All right. The orders seemed rather innocuous enough. Sure. Just when you return, see that The rest of your other carts are also provided with proper documentation, and I don't see that we should have any problems here. As he kind of stands aside, he's like, all right, gentlemen, best of luck with your sales, and have a good day.
Thank you, sir.
I give him a nod.
I
Is
start
it
writing
customary to
our
tip
cart-
guards, or is that shady?
Sometimes.
Tip him
You don't
5
know.
gold.
Roll me. Okay. Yeah. He just kind of, you see, he kind of like looks around at the other guards before pocketing it and hoping that none of them noticed, but he seems grateful. At this part, Zarprax, as you're approaching, excuse me, sir, as they're now kind of leaving you in the dust. What business do you have inside of the inner city?
Zarprax just looks at him, and
Oh
he
no.
and he then starts speaking. But like as Zarprax looks at him, right, he starts speaking in fluent and very theatrical, draconic at him, right,
Oh,
where
God.
he's explaining how he has to go because he's a great healer, and like he's using quite. It's very clear like this guy. He's a how do you say? He's
He's a somebody.
you,
He's got
you yeah you get
confidence.
the vibe from him that he was mentioned. He pulls out his herbling kit.
Okay.
He pulls out his herbalism kit and he's explaining in all draconic as if you should understand them. But
Sure.
he's
Roll me
everyone.
a performance check as you are attempting to essentially. He has no idea what you're saying because he does not speak Draconic, but you're trying to convey without words he understands that you are very important.
13, so plus 1, 14.
Yeah. So as he kind of looks at, he says, "I'm sorry." As he then tries some broken Draconic, he says something along the lines of like, "Not understand." Minute. Wait.
You Zarprax looks at him. He goes like in a big throaty, dragon-esque, like like a very strong huff, right? And
Sure.
And he's
Intimidation.
just kind of looking, and then you can see him. He's back, and he pulls out like a giant sheet of a whole bunch of notes and things, and he seems to be studying some of that stuff.
Okay. He says, "All right." He says, "Excuse me. Can you grab?" And he appears to be. He
The
appears
guy
to be.
turned away.
Well, he's standing in front of you still, but he's talking over to one of the other guards. Could you get someone that speaks Draconic? And you see one of the guards kind of nod and head off into the into the inner city behind you.
So during that time, Zarprax goes. He puts his stuff in, right, and he's going back to his very affluent speaking and like blah blah, and he puts his hand around the guy's like shoulder, right,
The guy is trying to brush your hand off. Is it?
but you see him looking and pointing out like towards at the edge, and he's looking at and pointing out towards like the city, and he's talking about how big, and it's a little bit stronger than it should be, like. And Zarprax tries to make the guard accidentally slip into the moat.
Oh no.
Roll me.
Sleight of
What a
hand.
commotion.
First, it'll be sleight of hand to see if you can make it unobvious what you're trying to do.
All right.
What a. You could have just paid the guy. Fuck.
That's
18.
communism. We don't have money.
Where'd my money go?
It's right there. It's an 18 though.
There it is. It's an 18.
What's your
Plus 2, 20.
Okay.
Holy shit.
As you kind of begin putting like a heavier hand on him, he does kind of like begin to stumble. As far as you can tell, it looks accidental so far. Roll me, however, go ahead and roll me. We'll call it an athletics check, and then it's going to be versus his acrobatics. So he got an 18. What did you get?
Oh, I got
Shit.
10 plus 2.
And he kind of sidesteps out of the way of your arms. Excuse me, sir. If you could settle down for a moment. In the meantime, you see the cart of your friends kind of disappearing into the inner city.
So he goes you hear him. He goes to primordial real quick. He starts talking in primordial, right? Looking at him, and he sees, and he's like, And he says in a very like common, like that. Common.
Yes, common would be the preferred language. Thank you.
Common. Common.
Yes, yes.
Common. Got it. Common. Sorry.
What is your business in the city?
Business. I am here to heal, to my understanding, a great, I don't know the terms of you, smooth forehead folk. I don't know. Wife is asking me to perform for a blessing for her.
At this point, one of the other guards has come over that kind of, he says, you said you needed someone that speaks Draconic. Yes, but he appears to now suddenly comprehend Common strangely.
No one ever asks me what to speak. They only bellowed for me not to speak.
Well, that sounds very unfortunate. Would you prefer to continue this conversation in Common or Draconic?
Common is fine, as he's very loud. Common is okay.
At this point, he kind of like is right. So you said you're here to heal someone's wife.
It is a ritual. We go through this every time someone bears additional offspring, right? You want to make sure they are very strong and they grew like the dragonborn. Thus, who do they call? A dragonborn druid to bless the soil around them. To give the plants sustenance to appropriately feed the new child and to provide the woman's breast milk as they move forward and they grow into unison. This is what we do. We've done it for a very long time.
You can see their eyes kind of glaze over the longer you go into this conversation. Do you have a name for who you're meeting?
A name? All your names sound alike. Do you know what my name is?
I can't say that I do. I'm sorry. What is your
If
name?
I told you, would you remember it?
I do my best.
Banderdash. What is my name?
Banderdash?
See? You can't even remember my name when I gave you your name. Your difficulty to remember my name is the same thing when it comes down to your name. What is your name? Blacksmith? What does that even mean?
All right. Look, sir, if it's all the same to you, if you can just tell us who you're here to see, we'd be happy to let you in if you have some sort of either escort or some sort of missive.
Someone who's going to meet me at sundown in a bar the closest bar to the front of this gate. This is the instructions they gave me. I need to be there by sundown.
Roll me a persuasion check with disadvantage.
Is there a bar on the inside?
They do.
Why
They
not?
didn't scoff at the idea.
Okay. I was surprised.
Where's Zara at?
That's not bad so far. So,
15.
okay, get the
15.
disadvantage, get the good one.
All right. So yeah.
Oof.
8.
What
What was it? Persuasion? 9.
At this point, yeah, he's like, sir, perhaps you were looking for somebody in the other part of the city. I suppose if you had an escort, or if we could take you, do you know at least where you're going? Because I could, we could have.
Well, I just know there's the bar. Take me to the bar.
All right.
That's it. This is all I ask of you. Take me to the bar. How much gold do you want? I just need to go do my thing. I need to hurry up and
Bribe
bless
his
it
ass.
before
Thank
this
you.
child is diminished and stuck with fever because of you. So I need you to take me to the bar.
Says
Any bar that is closest.
he kind of looks around at the other guard who's walking away at this point. No longer needed. He says, well, perhaps for the right amount of coin, yes, I could take you where you wish to go.
The right amount of coin. How much coin does it?
Says, well,
Yes, it
throw
doesn't
me.
matter. Let's walk. Let's go.
Perhaps if you could throw me.
Starts walking forward.
No, he's like, hey, whoa.
Come
Hey,
on.
look. Perhaps 10 gold would make this trip go easier.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sure. 10 gold. That's fine. Here's 10 gold. Is this what you want? Your little colorful card? Is this what you guys are only after that? Here's 10 gold.
Thank you. And sure. Well, the closest to here, I'll be taking you to the Tilted Pillow lounge.
Tilted Pillow. Your smooth foreheads and your funny names. Tilted Pillow.
All right. Well, let's go. I presume we would both prefer to be done with this quickly. As he kind of takes you in, leading you off to the right, as this path in front of you kind of forks a bit. Meanwhile, your friends taking the path to the left. Back with the rest of you, as you kind of like glance over your shoulder occasionally, seeing Zarprax gesticulating wildly and moaning in some sort of language that I don't think any of you speak. I don't think any of you speak Draconic, right?
No.
Yeah, so you just hear him bellowing nonsense behind you as you kind of see the guard holding him up as you
Here
kind of...
he goes again with that shtick. It never works. He
Why don't you
always
just give
has
him
to
gold?
pay the gold. I don't know. I tell him every time, just pay the gold.
Give him gold. Yeah,
But every time he says, no, it will work this time.
these guys get paid minimum wage. Like, do you
Never
think they really
works.
care about their job?
So we have to plan on him being late as usual. We'll have to hold the
Procrastinate,
Lord.
yeah.
Yeah, we'll have to just procrastinate.
Okay. So as you guys begin making your way...
Can we
as
start
you-
like slow, like rolling? By the way, is that like possible to like just?
Yeah, you can slow down if you like. That's up to you. I mean, now that you're inside, the people are relatively dressed fancier for sure than they were on the outside. Nobody seems to pay you too much mind, but you do come to kind of a slower trot. Sure.
Yeah.
Are you just waiting for him to rejoin you?
I think
I think
I'm gonna be obvious about it, but
we'll like wait a little bit. Not like wait. We're just gonna slow roll it to the Lord's house, pretty much. And then we'll talk to him as like
Okay, sure.
least suspicious.
We'll say that you're moving at half speed. At that speed, it's probably going to take you about 30 minutes to reach where you need to go. 15 minutes at your regular speed.
if we like see him coming up, we'll probably go normal speed. But until then, I think we'll slow roll.
I want to make it so that our horses look like they're doing fancy, like they're slowing down, but they're doing like the trot.
like that.
I'm also
Yeah.
like feeding them like hay as we're walking by. you
Because
know,
I
you
want
know.
people to notice the cart, not us.
Okay. Who's driving the cart? You?
No.
I am.
Hey, go and roll me an animal handling check to see how fancy you can make horses tied to a cart look.
Don't use my dice.
That was 3 dice. Wait, why is
Here,
it?
just grab
Can we
one.
not?
There you go.
So it's a 10.
A 10. They occasionally get off a fancy step or so. Nobody's paying a ton of attention to you either way, but yeah, it's not the resounding success you were hoping for, but
Hey, nice step, Asher.
yeah, these untrained horses do their best to obey your commands, but you're just they're just not ready. They're just not ready for this. So at this point, back with you, Czar. As you follow this guard another 5 minutes off to the right down the road, you see the buildings in here are largely made of different types of stone, like marbles and various like other things. Some of them have columns and things built. It's a lot fancier than a lot of the houses in the outer ring of the city. As you make your way towards the Tilted Pillow, it's very obvious what this building is the entire structure itself is almost kind of like built at an angle, almost to imply the name, whether it was built that way on purpose or whether it has had a sunken foundation that it's a little hard to tell. But as he brings you up to this rather nice establishment, it's got fine like white marble columns out front, with just kind of coming to a large kind of angled archway at this point. But the actual floor itself is still flat. Just it looks as though the top of the building has been kind of tilted. As you make your way up to the door, he says, "All right, anything else you'll be needing, sir?"
Czar says, no, you have been more than helpful, but here, hold on a second. Wait. Just wait here. Hold out your hand. Just hold out your hand.
Okay, he does so.
Czar he runs inside. Is there any like plants or anything inside?
So as you kind of head towards the door, there's an attendant standing there. Says, "Excuse me, sir." And as you kind of push past and make your way inside, you look inside, and what you see in here, there are various like small fountains that kind of feed down from the ceiling down into the central fountain. As you kind of look around, there are various like almost circular benches that are lined with large pillows that you see several people kind of reclining on. Some people appear to be smoking some sort of either intoxicant or drug of some sort, and others appear to be taking in some finer wines as they're all kind of reclined over on the side of this pillow here. In the meantime, you make your way inside. Roll me a perception check to see if you see any plants.
20 plus 3. Nat 20 plus 3. 20.
Okay, yeah. You notice there's quite a few plants in here. On the inner columns inside this building, there are actually some vines that are kind of woven up. There are these flowered vines that have multicolored flowers that kind of make their way up, largely pinks and red and yellow, that kind of make their way up the pillars in here. Additionally, there's some sort of water plant that appears to not only be in these fountains, but they also appear to be kind of growing down along with them, kind of reaching all the way down to the central fountain. Other than that, there are various like smaller plants set out, like it looks as though they've fresh trimmed roses and things on some of the tables and other various flowers. But yeah, there's a lot of plants in here.
And how, I guess for lore wise, how familiar are people with druids?
People definitely know they exist. The world is relatively magical. Druids obviously are a little less common in cities a lot of the times. Just due to the nature of being a druid, most of them live either in the wild or at least a little farther out from a major city, but they would know you exist. Okay. They would know your magic exists, certainly.
So I run up to like any of the places where the plants were, and I look for a seed or a soil or something shit like that, like anything that has the plant, right? I grab that with a little bit of soil. I run out back towards the guy. I'm like, oh, you wouldn't believe how vocal everybody was inside there. These plants, they love speaking. And I talk in Draconic for a little bit.
Okay.
Draconic.
And I put the soil in his hands, and I start mumbling words just to mumble them, right? And then I make it using my druid craft. I make the flower bloom, or vine or anything. And I tell the man, I'm like, oh, I'm all big, and I'm like, look, now you take this, and I want you to bring this to your family or to your future family, whatever has planted in your soil.
You see him kind of look down at his hand as this rather small plant begins to sprout, just the tiniest bits of roots that kind of expand, almost kind of laying over the edges of his hands as though it's looking for more place to take root. And it's the small flower kind of opens, and he says, thanks.
It's my gift to you. Learn Draconic, smoothhead. And he turns around.
At this point, the person says, he kind of taps you on the shoulder. Excuse me, sir. Will you be staying at the Tilted Pillow?
Yes. Come inside. Let's speak more. Okay.
And meanwhile, the guard does walk away, leaving you with this attendant. Sir, was that plant? Was that our plant?
If it was your plant, then why was it not bloomed?
Right. Would you be staying here, or are you just are you going to partake in some of our?
I look for the guard. Is the guard anywhere nearby?
The guard's left. Yeah, he as you go inside, you see as he walks away. Presumably.
Like, and then Zarprat kind of stops a little bit less with the flamboyant stuff or whatever, and he's like, how much are room nights?
Well, if you're wishing to...
Too much. I'm going to walk. Thank you, though. I appreciate you. And he walks in a different direction from where the
guard went?
Yeah, the guard went.
Okay, very good. Yep, you make your way out back into the street. You see he's just kind of becoming disappearing around this corner back towards where the gate is. Yeah, it looks as though you can... Nobody's stopping you, certainly, at this point. Where are you going?
I'm going to...
You were very close to getting arrested, by the way, I should note. Yeah.
I had backup plans to my backup plan.
I was really excited to see what happened if you got arrested, but...
Yeah, I want to see the backup plan, honestly.
I had backup plans to my backup plans. Listen, I'm a Jew, okay? You don't want to mess with me, all right?
So, the city before you It is, if you were intending to follow the main road, it's about a 5-minute walk back towards that gate, and then you take the other main fork in the path there. But that's up to you.
Okay.
Where's Zara? Isn't he supposed to be here by now?
Can I just transform into like a cat and start? Doo-doo-doo.
Sure.
How long
Right.
does wild shape last?
Last an hour, I think, right? I'm trying to figure out.
What? Well, also, what type of druid are you? Are you a moon druid?
I think so.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, it should be more than enough time for you to get there if that's what you're worried about.
Oh no, I was just gonna say we could have avoided everything there. You just walked in as a cat.
Hey, you know,
I liked it though. It was
That's
fun.
an inspiration,
That was fun.
honestly, doing a whole RP.
you know what? Yeah, why don't you take an inspiration there, Czar? So if you look on your sheet,
You can click the plus. Yeah, I click it.
there's a little sun icon or something. You can click that. Yeah.
How does inspiration work in your game?
So the way that it works, for a DM inspiration, you basically get a D10 that you can add to any of the D20 rolls that you roll.
Oh, okay, cool.
Oh, is that what you do? You don't do advantage on the roll?
No, not usually.
Cool, that's fine.
So yeah, there's
I
different.
like that better.
Yeah.
I think I like
so,
a D10. Yeah.
So yeah, D10 for the DM inspiration. If you get bardic
Wait, do you choose before or after the roll, or does it matter?
So you choose before you know the outcome of the roll.
Okay.
So you could roll and be like, shit, that was only a 12. I wanted at least a 15. You could roll it then.
Okay.
But
cool.
it has to be before I give like, oh, you miss or
Sure,
you
sure.
fail. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I guess we'll pull up to the house.
How far away is our cart from Zara right now? Have we are we?
If you're
really
still
past
going,
them now?
if you're still going slow, it'd probably take him about 25 to 30 minutes to catch up. Maybe 20, probably 25-ish.
It's fine. We can bullshit.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm trying to figure out where's like the my shapeshift. I forgot where that ability is at.
Oh, wild shape.
Yeah, wild
So
shape.
if you go into your character sheet, it'll be under the tab that says traits and abilities, I believe it is.
Got it.
And then you can just click on even though it doesn't look like a clickable thing, you can click on it there and it'll give you summary on the right side. That'll tell you exactly what you need to do.
Okay, so I used it once and I ran up to them or whatever.
Okay. Sure. So while this is going on, it'll take about 25 minutes. Are you guys doing anything on your way there?
Oscar's trying to see if he can find anyone else that's looking to buy this cart. If anybody was like interested in it, curious
have
about
time
it,
to
if
sell
anybody asked.
one.
Yeah.
I
We're trying to
looked
see
at
if he can get another order and if anybody was interested. So he's like shooting the shit with the locals, like, hey, check out the cart. What do you think?
You do see a few people. Most of the people out walking at this point. There are a few younger men and women and children. None of them seem particularly interested in purchasing at this point. But you do see a few of the ladies says, "Oh, that does look very nice. Perhaps I could convince my husband. How long will you be in town?"
Well, we'll be here for another couple hours.
Oh goodness, that's a very short. Well, where can we find you? Normally.
Well, maybe you could just buy the cart now and surprise your
Yeah.
husband with it in 2
Well,
weeks when
I-
it
Anniversary
arrives.
I don't know if I have the coin on me for such a vehicle.
Well, I mean, it's not expensive.
Oh, what do you have?
Really.
Yeah. What makes you think we're gonna charge a lot? It is a nice looking
It's just a
cart, but
brand
we
new
can cut you a
innovation.
deal.
We're selling it cheap
Yeah.
for
Roll.
a deception.
Guys, roll me a deception check.
Man, I got this,
Does he
boys.
get advantage because the Syrians?
Absolutely not.
Absolutely. That'll be 20.
Ooh.
Ooh, hey, nat 20?
Okay.
No.
As well, I mean, I expect a cart of this manufacturer, and she kind of looks at it.
Magnitude.
I expect it should be nearly 500 gold.
We're only
How
selling it
much
for
does she
3.
have on her? Does it?
That does seem like an exceptional deal. I'm afraid I don't quite have 3 on me at the moment.
Well,
Do I see any jewelry on her? Any gold? Anything fancy that she's wearing that
Oh, yeah.
would be
Yeah,
interesting?
the woman you look at is she's wearing kind of like a light pink, almost salmon colored dress, with she's got blonde hair and blue eyes, and she's got just various like kind of, you see like different necklaces and rings kind of on her fingers and things. But yeah, she's definitely wearing plenty of jewelry.
Okay. I'll sure confess to say if you were to are you interested in trading us some of that jewelry? I'm sure you could find more of that in this beautiful city, but you're not going to come across a cart like this again.
Well, I don't know. Many of these things are important. for sentimental reasons, but just perhaps when she kind of pulls off like a ring, she says, this maybe could help. She pulls off a diamond ring, which you would know probably on the it's not huge, but it is nice, probably on the order of like 200 gold by itself. Says,
Okay.
if I could give you this, and maybe would you also would you take 250? I just came from a market earlier, and I actually ended up spending a good bit of what I had. Would 250, or would this
We'll
be?
take 250, and it'll be on an order. It'll be here in 2 weeks after shipping.
You'll have to pay the other 250 when we deliver it. But besides that, if you're interested,
You seem like a nice lady. We're willing to cut you a deal. What's your name?
My name is Dahlia.
Dahlia.
Are you?
I'm asking for the last name. I need to know it.
Of course.
I'm starting to write paper, but like on the paper. Just,
Okay,
like,
you're in the back drafting up the documents.
Yeah, pretty much. I'm ready to kind of.
Yes. Says, my name is Dahlia Quam.
Oh, okay. Woo, yeah.
all right.
Sorry, I thought it was Dahlia Nord. I was it's getting real.
No, that's Doria.
Quam,
Doria.
Isn't
Okay,
that?
wait. Why do I know the name Qualm?
It's a great question.
Can you do a memory check?
Does nobody remember the reason that you're in the town?
No, we do. We're asking her. Why does this sound familiar?
Okay, never mind. Sorry.
No, we knew.
I thought we were killing.
Yeah.
Yes, we're good.
Yeah.
Okay, that's perfect. Oh. Okay. Thank God, because all right, I remember now. We're after Vostria Quam. Got it.
Yes. So, as
A
you
light
kind of
bulb
now,
dings, dude.
as you take a look at this woman now, she looks to be in her early to mid 20s. As she's kind of walking, as you guys have now kind of slowed up, you do see in front of you what you are pretty sure is the estate of Vostria Quam. And she appears to be heading that direction.
Would you be interested in, instead of us having to ship it to you and pay the shipping fee, just maybe showing your husband this card and we could sell him this one?
Well, I'm yet unmarried, but perhaps my father would be interested.
Oh, please, yes.
Yeah. Is he home now? Can we go talk to him?
Well, he's currently on his way to Black Falls. He's been visiting there a lot recently. But perhaps this evening he should return, and you could speak with him then. But he's usually there for quite a while. But I know my betrothed might be interested in the cart. But
What's your betrothed's name so I can write it down on this paper right here?
yes, he goes by Alton, Alton Drod.
Okay.
Okay, how far is so I would know because I studied the map. How far is Black Falls?
So Black Falls, by cart, by your cart, was probably going to take you the better part of about 2 hours, maybe.
And is there looks like one
that's-
real road to Blackfall?
Yes,
Boys.
there's one main road to get there. Yeah.
All right, change of plans. I will look to Ash offshore and whisper to him, we need to go meet him on the way back from Black Falls. She said he stays there a long time and he'll be here later tonight. It's early morning, so we have a lot of time to like plan a trap there.
So we tell Dahlia we'll be coming back tonight to speak with Worcester about the cart, and then we'll sell this one. And, yeah, we'll see her this evening.
Okay, then we'll come back tonight, and since you already want to buy this card, we won't have to sell it to anybody else.
Is she willing to pay the 250 gold now to make sure that
As
we
a
come back
retainer,
for it?
so we come back?
I suppose that is reasonable.
Well,
Well,
hey, Ben, why don't you draft her this paper and give it to her? So she
Ben,
Of course, yeah.
hand her the
I'm
paper
working on it
now.
right now. Yeah.
Ben will hand her the paper, yeah?
Perhaps if you could take the 100 I have in my purse, and I could keep my ring. It's not the most sentimental,
That's
but
fine. We'll take the 100
Yeah,
and we'll
that's
be back
not
later
a problem.
tonight.
We'll be back. You seem like a nice lady.
I appreciate it. I just would hate for something to happen, and me give my ring up for no reason.
Yeah, no problem. We will be back tonight then. It was nice meeting you. Doria, is it?
Yeah.
Dahlia.
Dahlia.
Assume she gives us back the paper, right?
Yeah, she signs and
Okay.
keeps her receipt and then gives you your bit. Yes. So, at this point, where are
At
you
this
guys
point,
going?
has it been enough time for
I'm gonna look for
Zar
a
to
cat.
have caught up with us?
I'm gonna look for a cat.
Yeah.
Yeah, at this point, he would have been trotting up as she is leaving, and you see her entering the estate.
I'm gonna kind of give the cat the like, you know, the this is a nice car thing. Just pat the wagon, and give him the signal like, hey, we're getting out of here. Plans changed. Will
Zar?
the cat jump in?
Yeah, Zar just chills and he jumps in. And he like cuddles up to the fucking corner, not to any of y'all.
All right, well,
I see if there's
Usher
any
reaches
weeds.
over and tries to pet the cat on the head.
we will quickly leave and head out to Black Falls.
Zarprax bites offshore and then like kind of laughs as the cat laughs.
Can I
I
try?
see if there's any like weeds on the road.
No, he's gonna freak out.
Usher
I know,
reminds
I
Ben
did.
not to fuck with any weeds before Zar loses his mind.
So
I just feed the horses the hay that I was already.
we'll quickly head out and head over to the Black Falls and stay along the road.
Making your way there, it's relatively easy to get back out of the city. Nobody hassles you as you go ahead and cross back out. One of the other exits is the from where you are. It's to the west of the city by a couple miles. And as you make your way out there, you do kind of you exit through the main road, which is rather wide, and then off to your left, there's this path, which is smaller. It's wagon sized, so you can certainly get there. But as Black Falls is much more of a kind of almost touristy type destination, it's more of a spectacle than it is, and a necessity. It is not like a fully paved road, but it is decently well worn enough that your cart, other than being smooth already because of your suspension, it's a rather smooth journey. As you kind of go on either side of you, you do see these kind of like decently tall grasses kind of like waving nicely in the breeze. Up ahead of you in the distance, you can see where Black Falls is going to be because there is just almost this mountain of, from here, what appears to be a mixture of some granites and some other igneous rocks, maybe some basalt and things like that. And in the very distance, you see what looks like it could be a spire of just this obsidian rock kind of jutting out far away from where you are now.
Can I just make sure real quick that nobody's tailing us?
Sure.
So just roll a perception on it.
What an
Yep, you-
idea.
Roll me a perception check.
While he's doing that, I'll talk to my team and say,
I rolled 6.
Six
7.
total?
Yeah, so 7
Usher,
total.
at this point, I'm driving the cart, right? And
Yeah.
I'm keeping an eye out. I imagine you said this is a smaller road, right? So we should be able to see anybody coming the other direction. So,
Theoretically, the tall grass, as you kind of get further, it does kind of obscure a certain distance in front and behind you, but you can see a decent way. Yeah.
well,
sure, yeah. So I try and make small talk with anybody that's passing by. I don't know if there's
I tell
a lot of people passing by
Usher-
that meets the profile of Waster Khan.
I think we
So-
should pull over and set up like a shop, like a, and we're gonna pull over. We're gonna have our wagon as a spectacle, and we're gonna do orders, and look out for Vostraquam on the way. So as people come by, we're gonna just do quick sells, and
So-
we'll wait
Okay.
for Vostraquam to come because he obviously has to come back this way. We would assume, and when he comes, we're gonna do something to him.
Yeah, I agree. I pull the wagon over to the side, on the other side of the road where the returning.
Oh,
people
and
would
I'll
be.
tell him before we. So, like, the big plan is hopefully we'll try and entice him to buy the wagon, and we'll invite him into our wagon, and we'll take it back because we already met with his daughter.
He would want to see
He would
how
want to
smooth
get
of
in
a
the
ride
wagon.
it is,
He would
right?
want to get in the wagon. Yes,
Yeah,
he would want to see how
does.
smooth it is. So that's like the big goal: is get him in the wagon, and we'll take him back, and then at some
Okay.
point we're gonna fucking kill him and ditch the people, maybe even ditch the wagon. Like,
So in this road, is there buildings around here? Is it like, is it? I guess I should say.
the road is in a relatively this area is kind of just a relatively hilly
Okay.
plain up ahead of you. Well, I go ahead and because Asher and Ben, you two roll me a perception check because you're both the ones keeping lookout.
Okay.
I rolled a 16 plus 1, 17.
Okay.
We want to talk about mine, okay?
You rolled a 1.
So with your 17, as you kind of crest over the top of one of these rather smooth mounded hills, what once you hit the top, just in the distance, you can see where the road begins to curve up into this kind of granite mountainous region. It looks as though there are about 2 or 3 carts in what appear to be a small caravan heading up there.
I pointed out, just show everyone.
Let's set up
At
our
a glance, at a glance, it looks fairly fancy as far as you can tell from this far away. You guess that is probably,
I think that's our hit, boys.
probably is your guess.
How far away is it?
Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say during this time I ran into the woods on Transform as a cat, kind of walk out.
Yeah, I'm gonna kind of point Zarprax to go over there, and if he gets the chance to kill him, he can. If not, then
Well,
we can do
should
it over
try
here.
and talk. Yeah, let's.
Are you?
him down.
So, the distance he's ahead of you, it looks like he's not too far. At this point, it's getting to be closer to a little bit before lunchtime at this point. As you look ahead of you, the guy appears to be, it's not prohibitively far ahead as you're a little over halfway now towards the base of these mountains. You see him up ahead, this kind of small procession. It looks like, given that the way that your cart works and the relatively light load, and it looks like they're not moving at a fast pace, like they're maybe 10 minutes ahead of you.
And they're
at
coming
most.
towards us.
No, they're going the opposite direction, as in they're just now
Hmm.
heading there. But yeah, if you move at a
and
decent-
she said
So
that he'd
like,
be
are
there
we
at
gonna
dinner.
pass each other or no?
We would pass them eventually, yeah.
Do we want to set up?
Yeah, I think we should go.
I want to walk out in front, right? And I want to try to talk first, right? Is that what we said?
No, they're heading towards Black Castle.
Well, they're heading towards Back Castle. I assume that it would be way later in the day right now, and then they would be already heading back. So I think we should just follow them in our cart.
Well, are they? Does it look like they're?
Wait,
coming
I don't
towards
know.
us,
Are they ahead of
going
us
away
or are
from
they
us?
behind
They're
us?
ahead of us.
They're ahead of us.
Are they?
They're heading towards
Coming
Black
towards
Falls or
us?
whatever. No.
Oh, okay.
She said that he would be back at night, and it seems like his caravan is kind of just getting there. So maybe they just left, like, after we got in or something like that. So, like, and we do have a quicker cart.
Yeah.
So we could catch them, theoretically, and pass them, I think. If not, we could just stay behind them. Or we could just, like...
to try to make the time frame that you set up.
Yeah, I agree. So, yeah,
So
we'll
let's
follow.
just go. He's like, just Zarprax says, let me just get near him, and then you guys happen to go in front, and then just trust.
We could
Get
even,
in
like,
front.
show off our cart, like, hey, it's quicker, and it
Yeah,
could
so
stand,
I
like,
try and
off-road.
really push the horses when we get close to them as a
Mhm.
spectacle to show like how much faster the cart is. Like we like go way past. them.
And we can even
Okay.
go off-road and, like...
Yeah.
Because I'm assuming
Yeah.
it's a one-lane kind of road, or is it two?
It's not super smooth off. Like, there are parts that are wider and, like, parts that, like, have been built and carved out to kind of give you a place to pull over, just a longer stretch to give you that ability. In the mountainy path area, it certainly does get tighter. If you wait for the right opportunity, you could certainly attempt to pass them. Yeah.
That's what we'll try to do.
Okay. Yeah.
As we get closer, right? And can I get visual confirmation on him? Like, hey, that's him.
Roll me a perception check.
How many carts are there again? And now we're getting closer.
There's 3.
Okay.
I imagine the middle one is.
How many people are, like,
There-
riding and...
Guard-wise? Yeah.
So what you can see,
So
each
it's
cart has a driver up front.
plus 319.
These are all kind of enclosed, though.
Yeah.
They're a little bit fancier, more almost not quite like a little closer to being a carriage rather than a cart even. So it's difficult to say who or what is in which one because they appear to be identical, but they are all very fancy.
When we come up on it, do we hear a lot of talking, or is it pretty quiet?
Is there any like
Um,
armed people as well?
Well, I don't think we could see inside because it's closed off.
Well, the people
rolled
riding,
a
like,
19.
like steering the carts.
Okay. So you got a 19.
Yeah.
Sure. So as you make your way closer, you don't hear anything from inside the carts, but as you kind of look now, you see that beside the front and the rear driver, there do appear to be like an extra person sitting there. Meanwhile, as the kind of middle cart, as you get closer, it almost looks like there's somebody, a very small, maybe a halfling, somebody kind of sitting up top, like you see them kind of like keeping a lookout around. But it's kind of difficult to tell who's in which cart or what or who is in which little carriage, but
So the people that are like steering the carts, do I see them armed at all, or are they kind of just normal folk?
so the drivers do not appear to be armed, but certainly the 3 extra people do. Wearing a few of them wearing just different types of chainmail. You do see that the halfling sitting up top appears to be a little bit more in like leathers and things, with a kind of like a small crossbow sitting across their lap.
What's
I just
the-
like
what's the
nudge,
weather
you know,
like?
Bear.
The weather right now is still very overcast, kind of threatening to rain at some point later in the day, but as of now, it's not so bad.
Are we able to find a spot where we want to pass them?
Sure. It takes you guys probably like you're kind of having to trail behind them for a few minutes, but eventually the road does widen up just enough as it kind of flattens out for a moment that you guys are able to kind of outpace them a bit and pass.
And
As we try and pass
What was the guy's name again?
Vorstraquam.
A Vorsterquam?
Vorstra.
Like Zarprax is like, how bold do you guys want to be?
I mean, if we don't have to like kill them all, we
yeah.
should try to.
I don't think we have to kill them all, but nah.
let's see what happens when we pass him.
As we try and pass him, you see there is a halfling sitting on one of the top carts, keeping an eye out, right? So surely he's seen us.
Oh, absolutely, yes.
Yeah.
You guys are not exactly stealthy at this point.
So we're not trying to be. So as like we're passing him, I kind of mock him and say, brag about how fast and amazing our cart is as we're like whizzing by him, and you said they're a little bit slower, so.
Yeah, you see as he kind of stands up and look at you, kind of holding his crossbow, but he doesn't say anything in response at this point.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So we pass him. We'll go up.
All right. At this point, you guys have kind of come to the end of the main road here. As you get a few minutes past them, there's a large, almost like circular, like cul-de-sac type bits that you can turn your wagon around and return.
We'll stop.
Sure. And up ahead of you from there are a few kind of like paths leading into different sections.
How many people are there? Is there anyone there, or is it kind of just empty?
At this point, roll me a perception check, Ben.
Yeah, but here I think we'll stop and then kind of start setting up shop
11.
before the caravan arrives up. Because it seems like a good spot because there's multiple roads leading here. It looks like a nice touristy area, as you said. So like this is the spot to stall.
Okay.
Rolled 11.
11. You don't immediately see anybody in the vicinity. You gather that there could be people out hiking the trails right now. You do see one horse tied up, but outside of that, nothing immediately catching your attention.
Okay.
Cool. So we start setting up shop.
Yeah, I pull over the cart and then open. I kind of like park it.
Wagons for sale. Make a sign.
I start fucking scratching and fucking like started frantically making a sign.
Usher stands in the middle of the road trying to get attention, try and bring people in. Call it
Call it a
Billy
pop-up
Mays
shop.
type of thing. Like,
What's it called?
Come on in. Yeah.
Zarprax is kind of like meanders back into like the woods or somewhere where it's not as obvious, so he can take animal shape if he feels like it and not have it be like so blatantly crazy.
Okay, very good. So as you guys make your way up here and you kind of pull into the kind of the far end of this road where you can turn around, you kind of begin setting up shop, and it takes probably the next 5 minutes before you hear as these carts and these carriages next begin appearing from around the bend there. At this point, you do see the 3 of them kind of stop. You see as the guard kind of in the front, you see him say something back to the people behind him as they each kind of go down to the door, and they open it for a second to each of them and respectively opens the door to speak to whoever's inside before closing it back as the 3 two of the three guards approach you.
Can I do a perception check on the guards just to see like kind of what they're wearing is what I'm after?
Sure.
You said chainmail, right?
Oh, did you say chainmail? I didn't hear.
A couple of them are wearing chainmail, and one is wearing leathers. Yes.
I don't know anything.
Okay. Yeah, you don't know anything. But it is one a small halfling female. Now you can tell, with kind of a long dark brown ponytail kind of hanging over her shoulder. You see she's kind of like holding her crossbow in her hands. She says, "All right then. What can we help you? We noticed you couldn't help but brag about your cart. If If you're meaning any trouble, we'll have to ask that you refrain.
We mean no trouble. We're just here to sell carts.
As you can see, it's one of the finer carts you've seen. We got here a lot sooner than you did. We were able to set up shop.
It is very interesting.
Your carriages look mighty bumpy. Does the person inside often complain about bumps in the road?
Well, our employer is a gracious man. Usually he does not complain, even though he probably could.
Well,
Do you think he would enjoy the comfort of a better cart? He doesn't seem to be short on money, and we can give him a deal.
Perhaps he would. All right, again, so Asher and Bergon, I will let you guys choose who gets to roll. Again, persuasion or deception.
I have a
for
plus
this.
6.
Okay.
I guess while they're
And
doing it,
I will let you
working-
roll with advantage as the two of you are working together on this one.
As they're doing that, I just like start doing the papers.
21
honestly.
and
Just to make sure that it's obvious and like it looks like real and whatnot.
21 and 18. So 21.
Okay. You see as this halfling kind of eyes you up, seemingly trying to judge the lot of you. Well, interesting. Interesting attire. You're wearing very nice armor for a salesman, but sure. She kind of looks up to the other guard beside her. I'll keep an eye on them if you want to go ahead and see everybody to the path.
When you're with a wagon as fine as this, you definitely need some armor and other security measures, as you know. It's a brand new, patented.
Yes, quite. Well, very good. And she just kind of says, she just kind of stands there a few feet away from you. We'll see if anybody wants anything, but otherwise, good luck to you on your sales.
Thank you. Good luck to you on your adventure.
For this, I'm just curious. I need to have a name of whoever the person is buying these carts. What should I put?
You should put "fuck you."
Fucking
wait,
Ben. Sorry,
Need that kind of hostility.
my
Hey,
my
Ben, it's
associate
you,
here,
yeah.
he gets ahead of himself, obviously. Ben, shut your mouth.
I just like to get the paperwork
And
done
I'm gonna grab his
first.
paper and I'm just gonna start ripping it up. I'm so sorry about being presumptuous about you buying carts already. I know that there's a lot more that entails that.
Of course. Well, very good. And you see behind her, as the other guards kind of go and let a few people out. From the rear cart, there is just a couple children that kind of like step out. One of them appearing to be probably in the like maybe 10-year-old range, and then a small girl about the same age follows him. As you get a look at them, they look very similar. You gather they could either siblings or twins, fraternal twins. They look very, very close in age and features.
Do they look like beaten up or anything? Are they all right? Just very fine clothes, etc.
Roll me a perception check.
And 9.
Okay. A little difficult to tell from here. They're certainly not in a foul mood of any sort. As you see, they're kind of like running around and playing and kicking the various rocks and trying to find the shiniest one and that sort of thing. Meanwhile, out of the front cart actually steps what appears to be a very large man, just kind of with all sorts of plate armor on. You gather that he was kind of another guard who was put up front just in case things go sour from that direction. But from the middle cart, you do see stepping out a man with kind of these long, it's kind of a dark brown robe, but with some gold trim about it, and it's kind of like some gold tassels around the hooded area. As he kind of steps out, and you see him go back to the train, and says, "All right, you all stay here, and I shall be back shortly. If you need anything, just talk to Tilly over there, and I'm sure she should be happy to take care of you."
And Zarprax is watching in like the woods, right? Hidden?
Well, there are no woods, but yeah.
Oh, okay.
So where you guys are at this point is almost in a bowl of stone.
Got it.
Oh,
There are so it's kind of there are large steep walls with these kind of narrow paths kind of leading further up into the mountains, presumably possibly towards different viewpoints. of the Black Falls themselves.
We'll wait to see, I guess, what the person does.
Okay. Is this man, and he's at this point a bit of kind of a longer white beard at this point. He looks as though he may have started going white in the beard prematurely, as his face does not look as old as the hair would imply. But he does have his hair kind of slicked back and kind of that traditional, like, rich noble, just nice slicked back and with this nice, well-kept beard. As he kind of walks at a brisk pace, he takes him up and says, what then are you folks doing here? That's
Did
a
it
very
look like-
interesting contraption.
Did it look like he was walking towards us, or was he like walking towards another path and then got caught up in like seeing the cart?
That latter. He was beginning to head off towards the. There's two paths. There's one that's kind of behind you guys, a little bit off to the right, and then another one that kind of goes off to the left. And he was beginning off to. He said, "So, interesting sort of cart you have there."
Well, sir, we're in the cart selling business. We are selling these new carts, fitted with very a special thing that I call a suspension system. Causes bumps in the road to smooth out. So really helps the people in the back. And currently we only have it as a cart, but we're
Not only
actually
does it increase your comfort, it also allows you to travel much quicker and push the horses a lot harder than you can because the cart doesn't jog around as much.
it does do that as well. And we're actually looking into making carriages out of this same sort of design, if you'd be interested.
I could see myself being interested in that at some point. For now, I am making my journey into towards the falls. If you should happen to be around when I return, or perhaps if that is too long for you, I may be gone quite some time, then perhaps I shall meet you in town. I am often found there.
Perhaps we'll maybe see you. And I'll wave him goodbye. And I kind of like shoot an eye into the direction. No, I didn't even shoot an eye. Never mind. I just wave him. And I try to sell carts to, I'm guessing, if I see any other passersby or anything like that.
Okay. Sure. At this point, nobody else seems to come for the next little bit. It depends on how long you guys are willing to wait there.
Was there anybody following Quam into the thing? Like, did the knight with armor follow, or?
The knight appears to be kind of standing near the path,
Got it.
but it appears to be some sort of private affair
Understood.
as he goes by himself. At least the left path, he's keeping a close eye on it. You gather he might follow you up if you went, but he's going to very much dissuade people from going that way.
Okay, we'll wait.
Okay.
Hopefully Zarpax goes,
So probably an hour goes by of you guys kind of sitting there as you see the children kind of playing and Tilly, this kind of small halfling, going to join them. A few of the guards beginning having conversation and kind of leaning against the cart. This seems to be a common occurrence, as they've even brought like a small table and a couple of them start playing some sort of card game. The larger guard seems to just be kind of standing there sentry, but otherwise nothing crazy yet.
We'll just
Roll
be
me-
waiting.
Roll me a perception check. Whoever has the highest, I'll let you roll with advantage.
I don't think me. Zarpax, are you muted?
Oh, I have a high perception here.
No, I'm there.
Okay, well, what the fuck are you doing?
Making tea.
I got 15 plus 5, 20.
Fucking make it.
Okay. So that was with advantage?
Oh, here, let me do it again. I got, yeah, so 15's higher.
Okay, so 15 total, or was it? Did you say 15
15
plus
plus 5, 20.
The 20 total.
Yeah.
Sure. Are you?
Wait.
As you.
Was it
Yes.
15 plus 5?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, sorry.
As you begin, you get kind of bored sitting there, Ben, as you kind of walk around, making your way just back past these carriages. They seem to just give you a nod as you kind of stroll about. As you make your way back kind of down the path just a little bit, you've kind of got this view of down further into the mountains. You see down kind of at the base 3 horses tied up kind of at the bottom of the mountain. As you look around, you just catch the glimpse of what you assume to be somebody else. But instead of following the main path up, they appear to be kind of scaling part of the outer wall as you see just this cloak kind of disappear.
Guys, I think we're being followed right now. I point
Can
at.
Can I transform into a cat and follow the old dude?
Sure. Where were you? Are you just walking kind of back towards Ben? Because you're going to be in view where you are now.
Oh, so I'm gonna be like, so everybody can
He
see me
wants-
transform into a cat, or
Correct.
Wait, where was he this whole time? I thought he was hidden.
Well, I mean, that's when I brought up that it was you're going to kind of in a bowl. He could have got. You can go up the other path if you wish to.
Yeah, any way that I can get hidden and
Okay,
catch
sure.
up with the guy that we're going after.
Okay,
I was
so
just letting. Yeah, so I just said. I guess so. Did I walk away from the party? Is what ended up happening, and just taking a scope of everything, right?
yeah, you just not far. I mean,
Okay.
essentially, you kind of there was kind of a steep bend before ending on this rather flat, round area that you guys are in now, and you
Sure.
had a view down from there, and just kind of off to your left side, you could see somebody making their way kind of in your direction, but instead of going along the main path, they appear to be kind of
I
scaling
look
the mountain.
specifically for spiders as I'm walking back, because that was
Okay.
the familiar, right? And then I'm kind of like, hey
Sounds
guys,
like
I'm
they're really far away, but yeah.
yeah, well, I'm just curious. I'm just like, hey guys, I'm pretty sure the 3 people that tried to, you know,
They're going after our mark. We
Yeah.
need Zarprax to hurry the fuck up. He should have been back here an hour ago when the guy
just letting you
walked
guys
down
know
the
that
path.
we are definitely being tailed right now. And
They're not
anything we
tailing
do-
us. They're tailing the Vostraqualm person.
Well, whoever takes the mark ends up they're probably gonna end up stealing it though. If we end
Yeah,
up
that's
getting
why.
our mark.
Salsa needs to go.
So at this point, trotting back around the corner, are you going to be a cat or something else?
I'm definitely going to be like a cat, like a nice little savannah cat or whatever cat's appropriate.
Sure.
You know, little obviously like not a household cat, but
Sure, some sort of almost like a small, not quite a mountain lion, but something closer to like
no,
It's
like
got
it's gonna be a
legs.
house.
Yeah.
Let me correct myself. It is a house cat, so people don't freak out about it, right?
Okay.
But it's not one that's like tamed or whatever. It's like
Okay,
wild.
so you transform as you see he's kind of got a little bit of scruffy,
Yeah.
maybe kind of a bit of matted fur in places to kind of sell the illusion.
Right.
As you kind of then make your way up past this guard, you see him kind of like kick at you. Roll me a dexterity check just to see if you can kind of. Actually, we'll call it acrobatics. Let me see what if you're a cat. Let me see
Do
what
you
you
get
had.
advantages on that? Because I feel like cats are very, you know.
That's what I'm checking. I think they might
Okay.
actually.
Got a 14 acrobatics.
Okay.
You say a +2, so 16.
Let's see. Cats. Yeah, so it's actually the same anyways. So yeah, very good. You do manage to kind of deftly avoid as he's just kind of this clumsy, large, like plate mail boot just kind of swings out at you. But you just kind of deftly trot past that, giving him that kind of that walk that cats do when they know they're hot shit and that they've just easily avoided you and made you look stupid. You
Mhm.
kind of do that and manage to trot off down the path. So,
Okay.
as you manage to follow the path for probably the next 10 minutes, you do come to a section where very much now you can hear the waterfall not too far away. And water is kind of running down, disappearing into kind of a small underground hole. You gather this may be even the river that feeds into the city. It's hard to tell. Roll me a perception check now that you've... And you actually... Roll with advantage. Cats get keen smell. So you get advantage on wisdom perception checks that rely on smell. So we'll,
17.
with advantage?
Yeah, that was perception, so that's 20 plus my 3. And the first one, or the next one is, 12. So the 17, so that's 20 for perception.
As you kind of look around and give, like, you kind of smell, you don't see him at first, but then you do see this figure up ahead. He was just remaining kind of motionless, kind of bent over by the water at the moment. Additionally, as you kind of look around, you see like some sort of small bird type creature that appears to be right above you, but it's definitely keeping an eye on you.
Okay.
Not quite big enough to eat you, but but given what you know, you are a little curious if this is a bird or another familiar.
Okay. How far away is the bird?
From you right now, I mean, it's kind of in like a branch that's coming out of a small crag, so it's probably about 10 feet in the air.
It's about 10 feet there. Okay.
Mhm.
So, me being the cat that I am,
Mhm.
right? How far away is the guy in the falls? You said is he in
So
the?
from where you are about now, he's still probably he's under 100 feet away.
Oh, okay.
It's difficult to tell what he's doing from here, as there's a bit of like rock kind of obscuring whatever he is doing, but you just see the cloak kind of pulled around him as he's leaned over the water.
How like he's leaned over the water in what way?
Just kind of like crouching down. It's difficult to tell unless you get closer from where you are right now, because your cats are kind of low to the ground, so any sort of rocks in the way kind of obscure a lot of your vision.
Okay. With that, my guy kind of he hops to the floor or whatever. He's on the ground and he sees like there's trees and stuff, right? Because you said it or no in this
There's
area.
a couple, like, any trees that are here are the kind that can deal with relatively. So there are a few that grow kind of towards the water, but there's very little soil here. So any trees that grow here are the kind that could kind of penetrate deeper into the rocky surfaces here and pull out nutrients. So they're a little more hardy and certainly less flowerful. It's a lot of some of them even petrified and old at this point. But yeah, there are a lot of trees.
All right.
Old, what used to be a tree. Yeah.
I try to do my best to be a cat and act like a cat and run around and do cat things, right?
Okay.
Trying to hunt mice and whatever. I'm trying to be intentionally sneaking and dipping under things, right?
Okay.
Or whatever, even coaxing sometimes, like to lay back. But like the corner of my eye, I'm looking for where the guy is, and I'm slowly making a little bit bounds closer and closer to him.
Okay.
And trying to pay attention to that bird.
All right,
By
so
the
as
way, for Find Familiar, you have to be in 100 feet.
Mhm.
I don't know if that matters, but go on.
that's I mean, you don't sure.
No,
mean,
I have no idea. I'm just, yeah.
Yeah. It does seem important though, doesn't it?
I don't have that ability, so.
So at this point, and this is he's probably as you kind of as Ben spotted this character or these people kind of going up the mountain, probably half a mile from where you are, so quarter mile to half a mile. We'll call it a third mile. We'll go right in the middle. It's probably been about nearly half an hour at this point as Zarprax comes running around the corner, and then a few minutes up the trail, he begins kind of investigating, leaving the rest of you kind of with these people. Are you guys doing anything while he's gone investigating?
I'm really just hoping he kills him soon.
Okay.
Ushers tries to make small talk with the guards. You said I think a couple of them were playing card game or something.
Yeah,
If you could
there
try
are-
and
there are-
join them.
Sure.
See if they'll let him in.
They kind of give you a nod, and like they do certainly welcome you in. You get the sense that this happens fairly often, that they make this kind of trip. They seem rather prepared and a little disinterested, seemingly thinking everything is perfectly fine and safe, as they are like, yeah, sure. They kind of deal you in as you guys begin playing.
I just want to keep an eye out for. So you said they tied up the horses, right?
Mhm.
I just want to keep an eye out for that, pretty much. Just like looking at their horses, seeing if they've moved or not and whatnot.
Sure, go ahead and roll me another perception check.
Sure. 13 total.
As you look around, you do see the horses still tied up down there. You don't catch any more glimpses of the people.
I'm gonna point to Ben and tell him to go untie those horses and kick them out of here. Just like smack them.
Why?
I feel like they're watching, but
They're not watching us, Ben. They're going to kill the guy. No one gives a fuck about us. No one.
All right.
Go undo the horses, Ben. You're not that far. I can watch you.
Okay. I guess. Oh shit. I don't feel comfortable about this at all. Can I at least get some backup?
No, it's gonna look suspicious if two of us go.
I'm happy Zarprax isn't there, so I can
I
call
wish
you on.
Zarprax would just kill the guy.
So it's about
Zarprax. I'm waiting for you to turn back to mine. Zarprax already got his plan. Don't worry about Zarprax, right?
So yeah, as Zarprax disappears, you get this order. Are you going down there, Ben? Then it's about a
distance
10-minute walk. It's not,
Ooh.
give or take, a little less maybe. Well, probably 10 minutes coming up, a little less going down.
He saw them scale a mountain, correct?
He saw them, disappearing kind of, just because this is kind of a jagged terrain, you kind of saw them off into the distance.
Okay, so they had to scale a mountain, Ben. You think they're gonna be able to come down in 5 minutes and jump you? We can see the horses from here. I'll know if anything's up.
At this point, I just have to say, how many guards? I was playing cards with a couple of the guards,
Yeah.
right? What, 2, 3 of them? We
There
had
are-
brought a keg of our finer ale, right? That we had picked up
We would-
initially.
We would not have brought a keg.
We brought a keg. It's in
I
the
think
magnet,
so.
did
We
we
would not
not?
have brought a keg. I'm sorry.
So,
I guess not. I thought we did.
I need Ben to go undo those horses. Ben, I need you to do this. It's an order.
So like, just out of curiosity, does normal walking speed of a horse is pretty much faster than a normal walking? Like, it's not conspicuous if I'm like going on a horse faster than I would be normally a walking speed.
Sure, you can get on a horse.
wait, what was that question?
Like,
If
Normal
he walks
walking
on
speed
a
is-
horse, is it going to be faster than a human walking?
Oh, yeah, I mean, horses are faster for sure.
yeah, but I don't know if they're like, I don't know if how suspicious it looks if like a horse is going faster, because I don't know, like, because normally they would just like walk as.
You're just doing a horse, dude. Just get on the horse and drive.
I'll
drive
get on the
it.
horse and start
Yeah,
riding.
Yeah, he's
I
thinking
think.
about it. Wait, just get on the horse, dude.
Just getting on a horse
Why
and
are you
riding.
so
I guess.
nervous?
Just
'Cause I'm
go.
gonna
All you gotta
fucking
do is
die.
untie
Why
it,
hold
dude.
all of these lemons?
Just go.
I'm gonna fucking die, dude.
Okay, so as Arprex disappears, Ben gets sent down to release these horses. As you make your way down there, Ben, go ahead and roll me another perception check as you get down to the horses real quick.
Ben is scared of horses, dude. Holy shit.
Clearly, yeah.
Horses. I'm scared of people around the horses. That's a 14 total.
Ben's dead.
So what you can see from your angle where you are now as you kind of look down at the horses, and actually, let me one more thing. Are you being stealthy, or are you just walking up to them?
He asked a lot of times, how quick is the horse moving? Is he gonna be conspicuous? So I assume he's
How
being
quick am I
stealthy.
moving?
I'm like trying to be like very.
Roll me a stealth check, Ben.
Okay, I'll just roll a stealth check. All right, there's a natural 1, baby.
What? You fucking
As,
slow.
from the angle you're at now, the kind of mountainous area up ahead of you where you can see where they were scaling, it's a bit steep. It's passable. And as you look up there, you do see just these almost specks of people. However, they're moving strangely fast. As you look closer, it looks as though they have some sort of mechanical contraption, each of them, that's allowing them to scale a bit quicker.
Do I see all 3 of them by chance?
You do see 3 of them, and as you look closer, you're pretty sure they see you as well. They are
Okay.
pretty far away at this point.
Yeah.
but
I'm
you guys
gonna-
are sort
I
of
guess-
aware of each other.
I'm gonna start like going faster on the horse. Just like
So
Which
you're
way?
riding. Are you riding the horse?
yeah, I'm running towards their like. I guess how high up are they on the mountain?
I mean, they had to. Essentially, the way it goes, the wall goes up like this, and so
Mhm.
they had to. You can see now, as you look, there are marks on the wall that remind you strangely of the ones from the boulder incident a couple days before. I guess a day before.
How far back am I from like the party? I guess.
If you're taking a horse, I
Mhm.
mean, maybe at a decent speed, you could probably get there in like 3 minutes ish.
Okay, I just want to like pretty much
Yeah.
I guess my goal right now is to quickly go to their horses, quickly untie it, whether it be like chopping their rope or whatever.
So
and
you
just up-
okay? So to be clear, you weren't walking down. You took a horse down.
Yeah,
Sorry.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Sorry, that's what I meant.
You were already down there then. So to get back up, you saw them from the bottom.
hmm
They saw you buy their horses. Is where what happened. So if you want to quickly untie their horses, you can do that and then gallop back up on your horse.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
essentially back towards the party. That's my goal right there.
Okay, sure.
You need to slap them horses.
In
Yeah,
the
and
meantime-
yeah. I'm trying to like obviously if I cut the rope and obviously they're standing still, I'm gonna try making a ruckus and whatnot.
Zarprax. In the meantime, I need you to go ahead and roll me a stealth check as you begin stealthily approaching as a cat. As a cat, you do get +4 to stealth.
Perfect.
Never seen a man so scared of horses.
11. I have naturally stealth +2, and then
So, well, you
is that
you
the
just
way
get
it
plus
works?
4 as a cat. So the total, you said you
Okay,
rolled
all
11? 11.
Yeah, I rolled 11 naturally, and then
+4.
15.
You're being pretty quiet as you make your way up. However, just the slightest pebble you bump with one of your feet just makes and strangely, this kind of older man appears to immediately notice as you see like this figure from behind as you're kind of approaching from behind, kind of look either direction. As the figure kind of stands up and looks behind, this person sees you directly. He begins eyeing you. At this point, he's just kind of staring at you very intently. What are you doing?
Is there like what's near me? Is there anything by me?
So where you are, there is essentially there are a few like kind of rocky like outcroppings kind of jutting out from the middle of this area. But at this point, you being probably close to 15 to 20 feet away from him, you're kind of not, I wouldn't say completely out in the open, but I mean, there's stuff you can duck behind. There's but yeah, for the most part, you are pretty visible now that he knows you're coming.
Okay. And what's the rules with casting spells as a familiar? Am I allowed to do it or no?
So if you are in your wild shape form, you cannot cast any spells until you reach either a certain level or take a certain path.
Okay.
But you wouldn't have that currently.
Right.
Yeah, that would be significantly later.
Okay. So
and this is pertinent for at least for the future. Which druidic circle did you take?
grassland.
Okay.
I do remember that. So I get some cool little invisibility stuff and whatnot.
Okay.
So with that being said, all right, the guys, he sees him or he notices him paying attention, but he's like, I'm gonna continue being a cat. Like, right? He's not bold, like running into him. When he hit that little pebble, he instantly turned around and starts playing with the pebble, right? Like the pebble's rolled into him, right?
Okay.
And he starts playing with it like it's a little ball, kicking it up and everything else like that. Side-eyeing to make sure the guy, right? But is there anything my guy can get behind that will be able to cover him?
I mean,
Like,
you could move out of the way. You could bound kind of and get behind some of the rocky outcroppings, but yes. For playing with that rock, as you kind of like get caught for a second, go ahead and roll me a performance check.
Oh
Oof.
God. We gotta hire some better people, man.
That's a 4.
4 total.
I mean, yeah. Wait, yeah.
Beg for advantage because you're a cat, you know? It's less conspicuous.
As you begin to try to play with this rock and kind of pass it off, you hear a small voice in your head as this man just locks eyes with you. So, what is your game here?
So when he does that, he kind of like keeps on playing with this rock a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
But he gets bored and he tries. Is there like that? I'm looking for that outcropping. Is there that outcropping anywhere?
You can try and get behind it, but before you do, I need you to make me a wisdom saving throw.
Oh, this is my bread and butter.
No.
You really
So-
fucked us, Salsa.
As a
Bread and butter.
Can we start a new campaign?
They didn't even freaking roll.
as a cat, because you do take the whatever shape you are in, you take the statistics of that.
Uh-huh.
Let me see what
It's
wisdom
fine.
wisdom a cat has. I can't imagine it's great.
I didn't get this. I got a 6, but I didn't
Cats
get-
actually have a +1 to wisdom. So what was your roll?
It was a 6.
So you get a 7.
I don't save versus nothing.
So as you stare at this face, you go to try and hide, but the eyes that have locked with yours suddenly seem very alluring as you kind of begin to lose yourself. You are currently charmed by this creature. And man, this could get really nasty. I'm debating if we should end it now.
I mean, I think we're all fine with ending it at 12.
Yeah,
Okay,
that's
because
fine.
we're going to leave it there. So currently...
Apparently, Wild Shape only takes physical traits.
Let me see.
Yeah, but I'm not
That's a
sure.
good question. You might be correct.
Yeah, it would make sense because you would have like a low int as something, and you.
Well, you do take their HP. Let me double check what all you take. Wild Shape. Either way, he was not with a 7.
I don't know what his wisdom is, so.
Yeah.
It's like it's fine because I wouldn't have made it because my wisdom is a 6. I rolled a 6.
You can roll with your inspiration.
Nope. Your game statistics are replaced by the statistics of the beast, but you retain your alignment personality. So you do retain. So you do. That's weird. So all the statistics change except for intelligence, wisdom, and charisma. So your strength, dexterity, all the rest of that would change. So even with your wisdom, which is what, +2 for you? Yeah. Even with that, you're not going to beat 15, which is what you needed.
Yeah.
Currently, you are charmed, and we'll resume that next time because it took a little longer to get to this section than what I thought it would.
Yeah, probably, huh?
But that's okay. This is gonna be really exciting for next
We also
time.
made a lot of gold. Okay, that's important to us.
You did. We'll see how long you survive to use it, but we'll find that out next time. I don't want to, because otherwise we may be here for another hour and a half. So
No, that's fine. This is a good spot from this point, anyways.
sure.
We can do outros. Hi, I'm Mrmouton. Check me out here. Check my YouTube, youtube.com/Mrmouton. Wizard.
Yeah. So WizardRex TV, you can find me on the Twitch at WizardRex TV, and we do D&D every Monday and Thursday, and sometimes on weekends as well. We do one shots. So if you enjoy D&D, come hang out. It's in my campaigns are actually both in the same world. They're on a different part of the world, but it's all shared space. So we may see some funny interactions happening before too long.
Awesome. Assyrian.
Oh yeah, I shit post on Destiny.gg. Catch me in the chat.
Salsa.
Hi, I'm New Salsa. No, I don't really got anything. I don't even do anything anymore, guys. I don't even
Follow him
I
on
don't
Twitch.
hang out on Discord.
Twitch.tv/newsalsa.
Well, twitch.tv/New Salsa. Hey, RV streams in a year and a half.
Baggio.
Yep, just Baggio on Twitch.
Just
And
Baggio,
Hank.
that's the only thing about him.
Cool.
And Stupid Monkey and DG. Yeah.
It's been fun. It's been real. We're gonna go do our other shit. So we'll see you next week at 9:30 EST for more of the Gilded Maul.
The
Catch you then.
Gilded Maul.
Bye.
Brought to you by Heatat.
No, not brought to you by.
Assuming Assyrian can.
Yeah.